We were. Yes, they did. In 2010, we got to the World Series. 2011, we got to the World Series. We almost won in 2011 if it weren't for Nelson Cruz. I'd feel bad. I'd feel a little better for him, or I'd feel bad for him if he had actually hustled. He had actually run for the ball. Twice in the same game, though. You are 1 out away from winning the World Series. You could be the hero who won the World Series. We are. Hold on. Let me get this. Shut up. All right. We are now going to the intro screen.
We got.
Do we?
One that just went live is also episode 6.
Is it? Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Look, episode 6 was just so good. We have to do another one.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's like when they can't encore
It was a pretty good
after
one.
a
Yes.
baller show.
Really was a good one. Not as good as that other episode, but
That's episode 5.
We have to make up for episode 5 somehow. So 2 episode 6s we think might be the play.
Hey, the thumbnail says episode 7.
Hey, there we go.
That's all that matters. Quality.
We got thumbnails now?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Oh, budget. Very nice.
And how about them Rangers?
Oh, is this the designated sports talk time now?
Designated sports talk time, yes.
Are we officially in? All right.
All right.
How about those Texas Rangers winning the World Series? Winning the big game. They did the good big game and scored the points.
They did it.
They did.
Finally. After years.
After many years of waiting, they were finally good again.
What do you mean again?
Yes.
It's like, oh yes, because remember that like 2 years where they were actually kind of good for a little while?
Yeah. 2010, 2011. Although I will say it is poetic that we won the World Series 4-1, and the first time we were ever at the World Series, we lost 4-1.
Yep.
Good poetic justice.
I like the symmetry.
I do think it's kind of crazy how at the beginning of the season, I wasn't even at the beginning of every Dallas sports like season, I was like, yeah, all of them are doing pretty good, but I wasn't even paying attention to the Rangers. There were so many points at this season when I watched replays of the games and I was like, it's over. We're done. We're so done. But hey, they stuck it out. They made it. They beat the Stros, which, hey, good to have your first World Series by not cheating, So that's always a major plus.
Hey.
One advantage over Houston. So
it really is. Man, it's insane that we lost the World Series. We finally made it to the World Series 2 years in a row. We lost both times. And in between that time and us finally winning the World Series, the Astros became one of the best teams in the league and won a World Series.
Twice.
The Astros.
Yeah.
The nobody team down in Houston.
Well, yeah. Crazy how that works, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I mean, it was going to be a good World Series anyway because the Phillies lost.
Whoa, what you got against the Phillies? What
I
about the fighting Philly?
I mean, it's really nice that we can win a World Series without burning down our city.
Dang. Well,
This is true.
I mean, it helps when you can't get anywhere in the city without having a big car, you know?
Very true.
You know? I think that helped. I saw videos after the World Series win, and it's just like Dallas celebrates its first World Series, and it's just a traffic jam in Uptown. Like, are you kidding me? Are you? Come on. Just a bunch of people honking on the road, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, we're just."
See, they were already there before the World Series even finished. They just started honking to
That was just
celebrate.
rush hour. That was just rush hour. They that wasn't even the
That's not a
celebration.
celebration. That's just rush hour.
Ah, good grief, goodness.
The reason it was a celebration was because they were honking to celebrate the Rangers instead of honking at the guy in front of them.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's all
Yeah,
about the
'cause you-
intent.
Yeah, you can tell the difference.
It's all about the
intent is all there.
intonation.
Good grief.
It's how hard you press the horn.
Exactly.
Yep.
With what
Yep.
intensity do you press the horn?
'Cause if it's one loud honk, long honk, it's anger. If it's like a couple of beep 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 beep, it's probably celebration.
Man, now I just
Go
hope.
Rangers.
Now I just hope my hockey team can do good this season. They give
Oh,
me a heart
please,
attack.
Stars.
Come on.
Please.
Let's go, Stars, please.
Hey, at least the
Please.
Stars have won the Stanley Cup before.
Yeah, like almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, it still counts.
It still
Yeah,
counts.
you're right. Still counts.
Yeah, the Rangers were the oldest team to not have won the World Series.
In baseball, yeah.
And now we're no longer.
No longer. Now it's who's the next longest now?
Oh, I looked these up.
It's not Colorado. It's and it's not Seattle, I think either.
Seattle's old, but I don't think they're the oldest.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. And I don't feel like looking up baseball stats right now. We're
I
we're
know.
rapidly approaching the
I
end
think
of
we're
our
wrapping up
water
the sports section of this podcast. We're moving on.
I
We're
know-
bored now.
I do
Rapidly
know that,
approaching the 5 minutes.
yeah, we are. I do know that what was it? We're only technically the oldest team because we used to be the Washington Nationals.
Senator.
Senators,
Senators.
yeah, Senators. I'm thinking
Yeah.
it's something. Yeah, Senators, and then became that. Let's see. Rays haven't
And
won.
what a terrible
Rockies haven't
mascot
won.
the Senators must have had.
Rays, I think that
Mariners.
might be the next
It's
oldest.
not Mariners. Brewers are almost. They're 1970, but it's the Padres. The Padres are 1969.
Oh, that's right. I always forget the Padres are a team.
It's a team where you hear it and it's like, oh yeah, that's a classic baseball team. And when you're trying to think of baseball teams, you never think of the Padres.
Yep. But hey, that's also because I don't think about baseball too much. So
That's true.
Happy
The
for
only
the
Padres I care about is South Padre Island, baby.
They got a beach. What did
Yeehaw.
the Padres have? A stadium? Hot dogs?
Hey, we got stadium and a hot dog.
Ooh.
True.
We got a
True.
good stadium. Can't bring your hot
I
dogs
haven't-
in anymore.
I have not been to the new stadium. I probably
it's
should
nice.
next time.
It's
Oh,
like
it's
the,
so nice.
The new stadium.
Yeah, the new stadium.
Yeah. It's so
Ranger
nice,
field.
man. It's so nice. You can go in the middle of summer and not die.
Oh, they have a dome?
Yeah, they have a retractable roof.
Ooh.
If it starts to
fancy.
rain, they can put the roof up,
Close the roof. Close the roof.
and the
Very
AC in that place is intense. It's good.
Yeah, it better be at times. In the middle of Texas. it'd be
Middle
I
of
do-
Texas,
you know-
yeah. In a sport that we
One,
play in the
one
summer.
thing I do have to say though is like you go up north and like you have like all these super classic baseball fields and
Yep.
like they're never gonna update because they're super historical. And then
Yep.
you have Texas, you have the Rangers, which is like, well, I guess we had a stadium. How about a new one?
We already have a new stadium. What about
second stadium?
What about the new stadium? This
New
is gonna have
stadium.
a big roof.
True. Yeah, they ain't
Yeah.
never gonna tear down Fenway.
Oh.
Probably not. So
That's it for sports ball, I guess.
Yeah, we're done. Bored
That's
now.
10
Moving
that's
on.
10
Yeah,
minutes. We
sports
went
ball.
double our time.
woo
My
sports.
God.
Go sports.
Man, what is this? The Xbox One announcement?
Boo.
Yes.
Sports. Xbox, go
I
home.
love sports.
Man, what
We'll
a
talk about
disaster that
sports
console
Anyways.
was.
What, the Xbox
It
One?
was
The Xbox One
literally
literally
to
had a
make matters
disaster
worse.
at the worst time possible.
Yes. Literally the worst possible generation to lose, and they lost it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, like there was an interview I saw with Phil Spencer. I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast or not, but he just looked absolutely depressed, and he was just talking about how at this point people have built their digital libraries and they built them on the PS4, so we've lost. There's nothing we can do. We tried Game Pass and
Yeah.
not enough people have bought it. It's just we're running at a loss for Game Pass.
Phil Spencer literally said it's
Yep.
Jover. I can't believe it.
Man.
Well, I for one await our future Game Pass. I for one await the future in which Game Pass is the only way to play video games. So
No, not the
And on
Netflix
that
of
day,
video
I
games.
will.
Oh, it's coming. It's
And
coming.
on that day, I shall slink back to Morrowind, and I shall never emerge.
Get Morrowind on Game Pass.
Hey man, Stadia's gonna do it. Stadia's gonna come back.
You're laughing. It is. I'm calling it. It is.
You're
I
laughing.
think. Listen, Stadia was the right idea way too early. They couldn't implement it correctly, but like that is the future. Unfortunately, as much as I hate it.
Listen, man,
Uh,
when the internet
As
in the
much as
US
we dread it, as
becomes
much as we run from it.
Yep.
when the internet in the US gets to the point where it can support something like Stadia, then you can come talk to me about Stadia being the future.
No, it's coming. It's coming. Don't you worry.
I think we
It
need
might
to
not
get to the
even
point in
remember.
which rollback netcode is just so unbelievably good that it's indistinguishable from regular gameplay, non-streaming gameplay.
I'm sorry. One more
And I
time.
don't know if we're there yet. I said I'm just waiting for us to get to the point where rollback netcode's good enough for straight streaming games, because right now the delay is too noticeable.
Fair.
Mhm.
Fair.
Like you're streaming directly from their library, and it
Yeah.
like I saw some like freaking trials or whatever that people did, and it's like you press A and jump like half a second later or something like that. And that kind of gap, like in competitive games, is untenable.
Yep. You can't have that in a fighting game.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Was it the Stadia? I think it was the Stadia. I think it was Gene Park on Twitter did like a demo of it, and he just pressed the spacebar to jump, and it was almost a full second before the character jumped, and it was variable.
Yeah.
Sometimes he'd press it and it'd be like 0.1 second. Then sometimes he'd press it and it'd be like half a second.
Yeah. Like I said, untenable at the moment. But yes, you are right, Jordan. Right idea, wrong time. As soon as
Yeah.
we get that sweet rollback netcode, and heck yeah, we're on
Rollback.
in this.
And everybody's gonna have it except for Tekken. That's the.
What are you
Except for
talking
Tekken.
about? Tekken has rollback.
It's the what's the meme? The is this rollback or is this delay? What? You said this has rollback. Does it actually have rollback or does it have delay? It's got rollback. Okay, is actually delay. Like,
Oh man.
oh boy. You should hop into Tekken at some point. Oh well. That's for another day. That's for another time.
I don't have time to learn Tekken.
That's true. What do you mean? What do you mean? It's just a bunch of all the combinations. Go through 100. Learn 100 button inputs. Zach, you gotta learn 100 button inputs.
No.
Air juggles,
I
sidestep,
refuse.
I can't. Bro,
And then just play
I
the
can't
Street
even
Fighter character.
Bro, I can't even do quarter circles consistently. You think I have time to learn a Tekken character?
Yes.
Wait, hold on, y'all. This just in. Beep, 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 beep. Stadia actually had a kind of rollback, which I mean, rollback netcode doesn't apply for anything but like fighting games or whatever. But they had a negative latency feature that was supposed to account for that. Apparently,
Oh.
it just straight up didn't work.
What? No way. Oh,
Oh.
that's crazy.
Could never have guessed that.
Man. R.I.P. Stadia.
Rest in pieces.
Rest in pieces. Do not come back.
Please leave.
Please leave. Or is over there.
I know enough about Tekken to get the jokes about Korean backdashing, and that's it. I even know what Korean backdashing is, and I think, oh, that's a funny exploit.
Man. Everything I know about Tekken is against my knowledge, is against my wishes. But, you know.
And when will Heihachi stay dead this time?
Probably not.
No.
Never.
Imagine getting beat up by your grandpa's ghost. That's that couldn't be me. Personally, I couldn't accept that. Sorry, Jin. Just
Yeah, but what if your granddad's ghost was Heihachi though? Could you accept it then?
Sorry, my bad. It's wait. Isn't it in Tekken 8 that Heihachi taught his like moves to Kuma? Is that the character's name?
The bear?
One of the bears? Yeah.
Oh,
One of the pandas was doing the panda was pulling out Heihachi's moves in the latest trailer, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Hang on a second, what?
It was a soul transfer. The bear is now actually Heihachi.
The bear is Heihachi. Okay.
Oh my god.
See, now I gotta look up Tekken more just so I can keep track of this. This is just getting nutty personally.
I don't know if that actually happened. I just think that'd be funny.
I would. Is it as crazy as Street Fighter lore? Probably worse. Well, not worse, but probably more crazy. But you know what? I'm here for it.
Hey, Street Fighter lore it exists.
Yeah, it's there.
I like some of the characters. Do I care about the lore around the characters? Not really.
What do you mean? Ryu's got to cleanse the Satsui no Hado again. It's gonna consume him. He's gonna become evil.
See, here's the thing. I'm one of those guys with certain fighting game franchises where I like certain characters way more than I like the actual franchise. So one of the reasons
Smash Player?
I mean, what you mean the latest Kingdom Hearts game? So one of the reasons I haven't bought Street Fighter 6 yet is because it's like, oh, Karen's not in the game. Oh,
that's fair.
I really like Karen. She was one of the reasons I played Street Fighter 5.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Although I do like Dalsum, so, and I heard he's like nobody plays Dalsum, so maybe I'd have a chance.
Probably, yeah.
I'll be honest, I mainly like Dalsum because that one time me and my brother played Street Fighter 2, I just wrecked him with Dalsum because he couldn't do anything.
He can't approach. If he can't approach, then yeah, pull a strat.
Get good.
Hit him with the Yoga Fire. Teleport around him.
Yoga Fire.
Good old Street Fighter. Video game. Speaking of which, hey, Zach, what have you been up to?
Oh, are we going backwards this time?
Are we going backwards?
Oh, wait, are we going backwards?
Oh.
Whoa, wait.
Whoa. Let's go
Usually,
backwards.
I am the starter. Thank you very much.
Sorry. Okay, go for it, please. I am sorry. I am.
I mean,
forgive you this time.
I mean, it
We
would.
can
it would
start backwards.
we
if y'all
could
want.
start backwards. We could.
Now
Shake it
let's
up.
not get crazy here.
Hey, we're already doing the second episode 6. We might as well.
You know,
Someone said this
because
was episode
the first
7.
episode 6 was already so good.
It was already so good. We gotta shake it up now.
Not as good as episode 5,
Yeah.
but
No, well,
I
of
don't
course
think
not.
anything
I mean,
about
you don't get Christopher Walken on the show more than once.
Episode 5, truly peak fiction.
Really
I
was.
mean nonfiction.
Nonfiction.
I mean
God.
nonfiction. Whoops.
Excuse you. Excuse you. But I guess I can start us off. So
Go
ooh,
for it.
this feels weird. What do I I gotta gather my thoughts. What do I start with? Work.
Work.
We've finished. We just
Yes.
finished the second marking period, second 6 weeks. And I never thought I'd say it, but boy, I love my 8th period class because they're the only ones who all turned in their project on time.
Hey.
Out of my 6 classes, one had all of them turn it in on time. And they're my rowdiest class. They're my loudest class. They're usually a pain, but they did it. By golly, they did it.
Right on.
So
Right on.
I'm gonna have to think of something to do for them because the rest, it's like that was a test grade, so I can't just put a bunch of zeros in the grade book right now. So these dang kids.
Yeah. If only you could, though.
If only I could. If only I could. But I don't want to deal with a bunch of emails from their parents. Because a 0 for a test grade, there's only 2 test grades. That's 40% of their grade. So that's 20 points off their total grade for the marking period.
Grade on a 100% curve.
Ugh. Anyway, high schoolers, we did Romeo and Juliet this 6 weeks, so that was fun. That was fun introducing them to that, and I tried a couple different ways. I tried having them read it in class. Some of them liked that, others didn't. It just really depended on the class. There were a couple classes where I would say, "Hey, who wants to read?" And a bunch of hands shoot up. Then some of them where I was like, "Hey, who wants to read?" Crickets.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, "Okay, let me just have them read it on their own. They can do it at their own pace." And then I realized, how many of you have actually read what you needed to read for this week? And a couple of hands go up. And everyone else just kind of goes, yeah, I was like, okay. All right, today we're just gonna finish up Romeo and Juliet. I know if I have you guys read it, we're never gonna finish. So I have a professional radio production from the BBC that we're just gonna listen to, follow along. We'll pause and talk about it as we go. And that worked out.
Okay.
Right on.
They got to hear Sir Kenneth Branagh playing Romeo. And he does a very good job.
Shakespeare is always makes a bit more sense when you hear it,
Yeah.
or when you see it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so I think if and when I teach Romeo and Juliet again, I'll just do that. Just use the radio production. Like first time introducing them, I'll have them perform it because that's an experience. But after that, we'll just do the radio production, or I might do like a project where they perform it and have that be their project. That might be a good idea. That's what we did for the high schoolers. The junior high kids read the Diary of Anne Frank, the play.
Phew.
Whew.
Heavy. Yep.
Oh yeah, it's heavy. And not all of them finished it, but the ones that did really appreciated it, and I was like, okay, that's all I ask. That's all I ask.
Nice.
And they did a project on it, and they had fun with that project. One of them, I had them do like a little time capsule for one of the characters. What would objects be that would be meaningful for this character? And one of the kids made their own menorah, and I was like,
wow.
oh, put a lot of time and effort into this. That's
I
gonna
know,
go
dude.
up on
Hey,
the
that's cool.
that's gonna go up on the Hall of Fame for a bit.
We're gonna get this frame.
Yeah.
On the fridge. Hey,
Put
there
it
you
on
go.
the fridge.
Put that
Put
up
it
on the
fridge of the
fridge.
Teacher's Lounge.
Gold
Ah.
star.
Man, oh, that's an idea. I just get a cardboard cutout of a fridge, put that
Fridge?
up in the room, and then
my
put
God.
this stuff.
Sometimes someone doesn't
Show
get
us what's
down.
in the
It's
fridge,
going
Wayne.
on the fridge.
Show us
That-
You want to know?
You want
You want to know what's in the fridge?
What is truth?
The
There's the
truth. That's great. That's great. Yeah. It's school. I'm slowly figuring out what I'm doing, so that's good. That's good.
Nice.
Yeah. Not looking forward to grading all the tests, all the district tests this week, because that's gonna suck. That's 120 something tests that I have to grade written responses for.
Oof.
Ugh.
Yes.
Yeah, well, it has to be done. While they were testing, that's not really an environment where I can do lesson planning. So because I have to keep an eye on their tests, I have to get up every so often and walk around the room. I have to check. I have Go Guardian set up so I can see what's on their screens. I have to check that. I have to check and make sure. Hey, are they processed? Is there any issues on the online side of the test? Because all the tests are online now. All that stuff. So I have to. So while I was doing that, I was like, all right, I can't lesson plan like this. So I'm just gonna read. I'm gonna read a book. I can put a book down at any point and not get like completely thrown off like lesson planning or anything. So I finished up Coraline.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Neil Gaiman.
Yeah. I've read another Neil Gaiman book, so that makes 2. And the first
Nice.
the first 2 bits of American Gods.
I'm actually tempted to read that book soon because I watched Coraline for Halloween.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Yeah,
Great
I've been
book.
tempted to get it.
It's a great book.
Alright.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman's a great author, and he was able to write a children's book that is horrifying. Absolutely horrifying. Did I tell the story about how it got published?
Like the kid that lied.
Yeah, the kid
It's
that
like, it's not
lied.
too scary, right? And the kid's like, no.
No, it's not scary at all.
No,
Please,
actually,
I said
mentally terrifying.
it was so terrifying. I didn't want them to stop because I'd never be able to sleep again. Listen, kids like to be scared sometimes.
Sometimes. Some of them.
The whole Don Bluth philosophy of you can show kids a lot more than you think as long as you give them a happy ending. They can handle a lot more than you think if you give them a happy ending.
Yeah.
And Coraline does have a happy ending. Very it's an interesting message about just being grateful for what you have, which is good for kids to have. A good message for kids, especially because most kids aren't gonna have like really big giant homes where they don't have to worry about the evil monsters that lurk around in the sitting room that nobody goes into. Be grateful for what you have, kids. You'll be a lot happier that way.
You don't have a monster lurking in the walls. Be grateful.
It's true. You don't have a spider-like creature that wants to eat you. So be freaking grateful.
Be
Quit
grateful.
complaining.
Except you. Except you, listener. You know which one. You know who you are. Be afraid. Be
They're in your
very
walls.
afraid. It's in your walls.
Oh.
It's listening. It's right behind you. Don't turn around.
No. You gotta do the PT thing of look behind you. Look behind you.
You got to do the PT thing of promising something in the future and then getting posthumously canceled. Yeah.
You gotta promise something and then turn into a game where you drive around as a delivery man.
Yes.
Uh, I read a bit. I read a bit more of the second book in the First Law trilogy, Before They Are Hanged. That book is great. I am close to the end, and Joe Abercrombie is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely fantastic. His writing. I saw a conversation between him and Brandon Sanderson, and there was a question that they had where, what are you what are you most worried about your stories being lost in translation if they get adapted? And I think I can't remember what Joe said about Brandon's work, but Brandon said, I'm worried that they wouldn't get your humor across. Because Joe's writing is very funny and also very
Mm-hmm.
dark,
Mm-hmm.
but most of that is in the prose or the character's thoughts. Most of the humor comes from that, which you really don't get when you're watching it live, watching the TV show or the movie. So I know I believe there's a First Law movie that's being made.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
I don't think it's the trilogy. I think it's one of the standalones.
Mm.
Which is a decent choice from what I've heard. But I hope they're able to get that translated over, because that's one of the best things about Joe Abercrombie is his humor. That's about wait no 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 it's not it for what I read, because
Oh,
it was October, so I did
it is October.
my yearly reread of the Screw Tape Letters.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. One letter for each day. I almost forgot about it until the month was almost halfway over, and then so I had to read like 2 a day for a while until I caught up right at the end of the month. But yeah, Screw Tape Letters is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It's the C.S. Lewis book I've read the most at this point. And I enjoy it. It's so much fun. It's so much fun to read while also being really insightful. It's one of those books.
Mm.
And so at some point during November, I'm gonna reread the the added one. Screw Tape Proposes a Toast.
What?
That one,
There's
that
a
one's also good.
sequel? There's an addendum?
It's an addendum, yes,
There's a postscript?
because Lewis didn't want to write another Screw Tape Letters, because he's as he has said, he never wrote anything easier, and he never wrote anything that made him more miserable.
Mm.
Just putting himself in that mindset, it was very easy, but it was also just completely miserable. So he did eventually get an idea for not another letter, but and like a speech he would give at a commencement ceremony of some kind. And so he did that, and so he wrote that, and that was it. He didn't write anything else. But yeah, Screw Tape Letters is great. In terms of what I've watched, I have watched a ton of Doctor Who.
Oh.
Just
Oh
an
boy.
absolute metric crapload of Doctor Who. So I finally finished off Peter Capaldi's run in the modern series, which would be
Doctor?
one last Christmas episode, and then season 10, which also finishes out Stephen Moffat's run as showrunner on Doctor Who.
Hmm.
And there's issues. There's issues. Stephen Moffat was never the most consistent writer, never the most consistent showrunner. But Peter Capaldi is so good that most of the time I don't even care, because Peter Capaldi is just fantastic. And they have a bit of a gimmick with the season where he's posing as a university professor. So you get a bunch of scenes like at the beginning of a lot of episodes where he's giving a lecture on something that's going to be relevant in the episode, and that's a ton of fun, because you just get
Hmm.
the Doctor being a university professor and talking about all this freaking weird stuff, and then someone raises their hand and asks, what does this have to do with agriculture? I thought this lecture was about agriculture. And the new companion that season, she's all right. Bill's all right. She's a much lighter fare than Clara was, but Clara had a pretty heavy storyline at the end, so that's fine. I'm fine with something lighter. And they also wanted season 10 to kind of be like a soft reboot. Like they even named the first episode The Pilot. Because if you want, you could start there. You could start there. There'd be a lot towards the end where it doesn't make sense anymore. It stops because it gets very, very self-referential to the series and to, honestly, I think stuff that Peter Capaldi really likes, because Peter Capaldi was a long time Doctor Who fan, like a lifelong fan of Doctor Who. Like he was one of those guys in like the fan clubs and everything. And so at the end he gets his favorite version of the Cybermen back, which was the first design of the Cybermen back with the first Doctor's final story. The first time they showed up. And I agree with Capaldi, those are the best designs of the Cybermen. They're really creepy. Like they're obviously human, but they're also like just completely like it's a very good uncanny valley effect. And thus far in Modern Who, the Cybermen had a completely different origin. They were from an alternate universe, whereas in the classic series, the Cybermen were from Earth's twin planet on the other side of the sun. And so just about every time the Cybermen show up in the classic series, they had a different design. Whereas in the modern series, it's been pretty much the same since they showed up. So it was nice to see a different design for them. And I think it's my favorite design. It also has maybe my favorite version of the Master, because the Master shows up again in Capaldi's era, but this time he regenerated into a lady named Missy, and she's so much fun to watch. Just her. She has the energy of she's a villain, but she also really wants to be the Doctor's best friend again. She really, really wants to be his best friend again. And it's so much fun. It's such a great dynamic. And then at the end, you have her and then the Master from earlier on in Tennant's era teaming up to fight the Doctor, and that's a lot of fun. But yeah, and then the last Capaldi episode was one I was really looking forward to, called Twice Upon a Time, where Capaldi's Doctor teams up with the first Doctor, played by David Bradley, who played William Hartnell in that movie about the making of Doctor Who. So I was really looking forward to that, because I really liked that movie, and I do really like William Hartnell's Doctor. And it was a bit of a disappointment.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. They make too many jokes where it's like, wow, Doctor Who was made in the 60s. Man, weren't people in the 60s kind of sexist? Isn't oh, glad we're not like that anymore. And it's like, William Hartnell's Doctor never really made jokes about women like this. He was there was obviously like the overall attitude toward women, but he was not like, it was not like this. It wasn't played like this at all. And he was a very respectful gentleman. So it just it rubbed me the wrong way. It felt disrespectful. And there were good moments with it too, but there were other moments where it was just like, eh. But then it ended all right. And again, Capaldi does a great job. Capaldi's doctor got a nice little bow tied on a story arc that had ended a season earlier. I appreciated that. And that's unless the new stuff happens to be, if I hear that stuff's really good, that might be the last episode of Doctor Who I watch of the modern series. Because I've heard nothing but bad things about the 13th Doctor.
Oh no.
Nothing but bad things. Like even people who like Modern Who still say like, yeah, this is a step down. This is a step down in quality. Or certain episodes where it's like, wow, this was a mistake. This episode was a mistake. Like there's been bad episodes before, but this was just a mistake. So it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because I'd be really interested to see what someone like Jodie Whittaker could do with the role. So I guess I'll just have to wait for her to start doing audio adventures and actually have good writers. It's not the first time Doctor Who fans have had to wait for that, because the Sixth Doctor also had horrific writing.
Yep. It's not the first time, there's precedence.
It's not the first time, there is precedent. And also the Eighth Doctor only had one bad TV movie. Although I've heard the 13th Doctor is even worse than both of those, so hey. I mean, I did go back and watch a couple episodes from earlier on in modern Doctor Who. I watched that. I had watched an episode of the classic series that had related to it, so I was like, let me go watch that. There was an episode with Matt Smith where it introduced the Silurians, the lizard people. Let me go watch that. Was that any good? And it was like, oh, this is okay. Watching the episode, getting the beginning, and it's like, okay, that's good. And title sequence goes on. Written by Chris Chibnall, who is the guy who became the showrunner after Stephen Moffat, the guy who who basically, according to a lot of people, killed the show. I was like, oh. Well, how is this episode? And it's worse than I remember. It's not terrible, but so the more you think about it, the less good it is. The best thing about the episode is the Silurian makeup, because oh my gosh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Like, the show doesn't always have the best makeup or effects, but man, that was great. Oh yeah. Speaking of the show not having the best makeup or effects, I've also watched a crap ton of the classic series.
Oh. Are we gonna get the definitive Zach's total doctor ranking?
At some point. At some point.
Ooh.
So I finished off Patrick Troughton, the Second Doctor's era. I had last podcast, I believe I was like halfway through his last story arc, which was 10 episodes long. It's a bit slow, but it's great. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a really good send-off to Patrick Troughton's Doctor. Patrick Troughton, it's his best performance in the role, and he does such a good job. He's up there with my favorite Doctors easily. Oh man, he's so good. And he's the one that really solidified who the Doctor is as a character, because William Hartnell's Doctor has like a very subtle arc, because they were figuring out how to write this character. So he starts off as very gruff and mean at the beginning, but then he becomes a lot kinder towards the end, it's a very subtle arc, and it was unintentional, but it's there. Whereas Patrick Troughton is a cosmic hobo. That was how one of the guys at the BBC described it when he was giving them advice on how to design his costume. Rough him up a little, make him a cosmic hobo. The guy was American and he was working at the BBC. But yeah, Patrick Troughton's Doctor has like is outwardly very goofy and silly, but he's got a lot of seriousness underneath, and a lot of planning that he's doing underneath, which is what a lot of doctors do. Basically, every doctor owes at least a little bit to Patrick Troughton's doctor. So it's a lot of fun to see that, and a lot of people who went on to play the doctor cited him as their favorite, and I can definitely see why. But yeah, Patrick Troughton's great. And then at the end of Troughton's last story, he gets exiled to Earth because they wanted to shake up the formula in the show. And so with the third Doctor, John Pertwee, the Doctor is confined to Earth.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. And he's working with UNIT, the United Nations Intelligence Task Force. He's working with them, but he's kind of mad about it because the Doctor is inherently anti-authoritarian, and John Pertwee himself was anti-authoritarian. So he's working so it's an interesting dynamic where he's working inside a governmental authority, but he also kind of hates it.
Dang, that's so real.
Man. But it's a lot of fun. And John Pertwee is great. He's so much fun. He's so much fun to watch. He was primarily a comedic actor beforehand, and then he was told, when he got the role, he was told to play it as himself. So it's a lot of fun to watch. He still has a lot of comedic moments, but he's also just a very nice guy, but he also has a bit of an edge to him. There's a lot of layers. It's great. This was also the first time that Doctor Who was in color. So that's been interesting to watch. It does mean that some of the special effects look worse than the black and white stuff. Because boy, I can see everything about that puppet. And that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good at all. But it's part of the charm of Classic Who is that they're doing their best with the effects, man, but it's still just it's questionable.
Kind of like the original series of Star Trek. It's cheesy,
Yes.
it's not great, but that's the charm now.
Yes, exactly.
So if they're working on a $5 budget, it's fun to see what they had to work with.
Although I will say the action in Third Doctor's era is better. It's still cheesy, like 70s action, but it is better than original series Star Trek action.
So what? You got a problem with Kirk's weird lumberjack fighting?
No, it's my favorite part, man. But the Third Doctor is an action hero. They decided to make this. I think he was in his 60s, his 60-year-old man, an action hero. This 50 or 60-year-old man, an action hero. Choice. It's a bold choice, and sometimes it doesn't work out. But it is very fun to watch, because boy, do they try. And Pertwee is trying to sell it in his lines. He's trying so hard. It's so much fun. But also, even more so than even the biggest difference between this and the first and second Doctor's era is that I was actually able to watch an entire season of Doctor Who.
They actually had all the episodes still.
They actually have all the episodes now.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you... Wait. Are you not?
They just say they're keeping the originals for like some of the older episodes, right?
Yeah, for first and second Doctor, the first and second Doctor, they would sell the distribution rights, so they would sell different countries copies of the episodes, and then except for the ones that they were going to rerun, the BBC just tossed them.
Oh, oof.
Yep.
So there's just a bunch of lost episodes.
Yay.
That includes the last story of the first Doctor, which is really bad.
Oh, we're writing up this finale for our beloved character. We're not going to need it in the future, right?
Toss it.
Nah, toss it.
It's also the introduction of the Cybermen, the second most iconic villain of Doctor Who.
Well,
So the first 3 episodes of that have been found, and the second episode they have stills, they have recordings of the audio, and they have a couple of shots here and there. Thankfully, one of those shots includes the actual regeneration. So they do have the first regeneration on tape. But yeah. Third Doctor doesn't have that problem anymore. So I watched the entire first season of the Third Doctor's era because I'm going by a guide on like this set of episodes is just boring. You can skip it. Or this set of episodes, that's all right. This set of episodes is great. You have to watch it. Thank you, Siri. But so that's what I've been using. And his Pertwee's first season, it's like they're all at least a maybe watch. Like 3 stories are, one story is essential because it's his first story and it's like it's one of the best regeneration stories. 2 are must watches, and then the third is like it's a maybe. I went ahead and watched all of them. They're all great. The maybe one was a little dull, but it was still fun. And the first and the last story of that season were particularly great. The regeneration story was a ton of fun. You get introduced to Pertwee's doctor, and he makes a great impression. You also get introduced to the main unit crew. So the brigadier, who's basically the main guy throughout Pertwee's run. He's a ton of fun. Nicholas Courtney plays him so well, and his voice is as smooth as butter, so it's very nice to listen to him speak. You get Liz Shaw, who's a really fun companion, a more scientific companion at this point, because the Doctor's doing all the action. Actually, Unit is doing most of the action because they're soldiers. And you also get introduced to a new alien, and I forget their name, but they're the aliens that are the villains of the first episode of the modern Who series. Those plastic guys.
The one with the mannequins, the plastic
the mannequins.
people.
The mannequins,
okay.
The plastic people, yeah. They were the first villain of the Third Doctor's run.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it's almost like the first episode of the modern series. It's almost like it's a remake of that episode. But they're both setting up things, but they're setting up very different things. They're setting up very different status quos, very different tones. So it was a lot of fun. I didn't expect to see those aliens anywhere here. And then the last story of the first season of Pertwee's era was Inferno, which is this story where this scientific team is trying to drill down to the mantle of the Earth because they have a theory that there's pockets of gas down there that they'll be able to harness, and it'll be just an infinite source of energy. And then but the guy who's in charge of it is just like, we got to do it faster. Come on, go. We're almost there. We're almost there. Just go faster. Just do it faster. And then one of the pipes starts leaking this goop, or one of the coolant pipes starts leaking this goop, and a mechanic like accidentally touches it and gets it on his skin, and it like turns him into this werewolf kind of monster. And then things are slowly getting more and more out of control, and the entire time the Doctor hasn't been able to. His TARDIS is locked. He can't. The Time Lords made it so that he can't use it for time and space travel. So he's been
locked him out of the TARDIS.
Yeah, he's not locked out of the TARDIS. He just can't use it.
He forgot his keys.
I believe
he left his keys in the TARDIS.
I think the in-lore thing is that they blocked his knowledge of dematerialization. So anytime he tries to do something, and they like messed with his TARDIS, so he can't fix it. Anytime he tries, it doesn't work. But so he's been doing experiments with his TARDIS. He's taken the whole console out of the TARDIS and is using the energy from the drill to fuel it. And then he accidentally gets sent into another dimension, a parallel dimension, which is where they're doing the same experiment, but England is an authoritarian, like almost Nazi-esque regime. And the drill is a lot closer to being finished, and things just things are going bad really fast here. And then eventually everything just they drill down and get to the mantle, and then the world ends because the crust is collapsing and the mantle is erupting through the crust all over the world. And then the Doctor is barely able to get back to the regular dimension in time to stop them from cracking the crust. It's one of the most intense episodes. It's probably the most intense episode of the classic series that I've seen. It was absolutely fantastic. One of my favorites. Even if the werewolf monsters were a little silly. But hey, that's part of the charm of original Doctor Who, of classic Doctor Who. And then after that, I'm in now the second season of John Pertwee's era. They introduce the Master. And he's played by a guy named Roger Delgado, who is absolutely fantastic. He and John Pertwee have incredible chemistry, and this was before they introduced the bit of lore that they grew up together and were friends. But you can already tell that just from their chemistry. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great. And for some reason, the first story also has, like, it's the Master, but it also has the plastic aliens again. And then there's a moment with the effects where they're starting to use green screen a lot now, and it's 70s television green screen, so it's really bad. But they have this guy who the Master wants to kill. So he gives him this plastic doll that looks it's the ugliest thing ever. And he gives it to him, but it's secretly one of the creations of the aliens. So whenever it's in heat, it comes alive. And so the guy brings it home, turns on the heater in his house, and it comes alive. And you can obviously tell that when it's moving, it is a guy in a dumb suit in front of a green screen sitting up and running across the floor. And it looks so bad. But it's a lot of fun. And the Master's so much really fun villain. He is in every single story in that season. He is at least one of the main villains of every single story in that season of Doctor Who. It's nuts. Oh, and I need to, speaking of terrible effects, I need to send you guys a screenshot from one of the episode. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it in the Discord.
Yes.
Because it is. I saw it today, or not today. The episode I watched, one of the episodes I watched yesterday, and it's not even. It shouldn't be a difficult prop, but I saw it and I just paused the episode and busted out laughing. There it is. Okay, there it's sent.
Are they using Comic Sans for the top secret document?
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
all right.
Man.
Incredible.
For the listeners, that's what it looks like. It's a top secret folder, but top secret is written in like Comic Sans.
It is, dude. It is a
all lowercase.
It is
all lowercase.
It is a folder with the words "top secret" written on it, and for some reason they decided to use the SpongeBob font.
Oh boy, top secret.
It's the Krabby Patty secret formula.
Oh,
Oh. Oh my gosh.
what I learned in TARDIS school is.
Oh man.
Oh boy.
So yeah, for some reason that file is probably the worst effect I've seen in this show so far. Oh boy. Man. That feels like that feels like someone on set was like he was just holding up a manila folder and someone on set was like, but how do we know that how does the audience know that that's secret?
Oh, don't worry.
Don't
I
worry.
got you.
I got you. I got it.
Hand me the Sharpie.
uh, yeah, classic Doctor Who's a lot of fun. A ton of fun. That's about it for what I've watched. As for what I've played 3 games. I'll start off with probably the easiest one to talk about. I got Mario Wonder.
Wow.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah.
It is
Wonderful.
wonderful. That is a solid Mario game.
Nice.
So I've heard.
It's great. Also, they finally redid the models and the animations, and it's all fantastic. There's so many little details that I just absolutely love. Like when Luigi, I've been playing as Luigi the whole time because of course. But when Luigi goes into a pipe, he has different animations for going into a pipe, like up, down, or sideways. When he goes into one sideways, he'll just like pop in, and his hat will be left behind, and he'll reach out, grab his hat, and pull it in, and then it goes to the next screen.
Nice.
It's great. And then it's a different animation if you're Elephant Luigi, because Elephant is now a power up. And Elephant power up is like more than just like Tanuki suit stuff. You when you're
really?
when you're pushing something, you have more, you push it faster because you're stronger.
Right.
You have a bit of a wider hitbox. You can press B to flick your trunk like the Tanuki tail, but you can also fill your trunk with water, and then when you do the flick your trunk attack, it sprays a bit of water, which has some interactions throughout the stage. Like there will be plants you can hit, and if you hit them with water, they'll grow. Yeah.
Interesting.
Pretty neat. Also, the online play is really fun because if you turn it on, you'll see ghosts of people who are playing as other characters playing the same level.
Oh.
And your character can see hidden blocks in the stage that other characters can't. So what you can do is you can put up these little standees in the stage, and other characters can see them. You can you can like hit other people's standees, and when you die, if there's a standee or another player's ghost nearby, you can fly to it and respawn.
Cool.
Interesting.
So there were a couple levels where I was able to get through my first time because another guy was doing it at the same time and would see me die and would like just kind of stop for a second so that I could get to him. And I've done the same thing for other people. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. Pay it forward.
Yeah. And then you get a little score for doing things like that and for getting to the goal around the same time as the other players. You get a little little heart score, little friendship score that you build up. I have already seen someone with a maxed out score, so
The best friend.
yes, the super best friend.
So, question: is it like a online feature that you want? Do you have to like turn it on in the menu? Is it turned on automatically? Are you able to like switch it on and off?
You can switch it on and off. Like if you have an internet connection, you can there are little things in the worlds that it's like it's a little satellite. You go up to it. Do you want to turn online mode on or off? If it's on, do you want to turn it off? If it's off, do you want to turn it on? And then
Gotcha.
if you have it on, and I believe it'll ask you if you want to turn it on like the first time you're connected to the internet. But if you have it on, you go out of internet connection, it'll just you just won't get it. But then when you go back into internet connection, it'll keep the setting you had it at.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get a little bit of freedom after the first two worlds to go to the next three. I believe it's the first two. It might be the first three worlds. So you get a little bit of freedom. Like you can choose the next three worlds and do those in any order, which is a lot of fun. And me being me, I'm just doing them in order anyway. But it also kind of mixes it up between regular old 2D Mario and Mario World, Mario 3D World in terms of level select. Because there'll be sections where you're on the track and you go to the levels, or it'll be a split in the track. You can go this way or this way, but then it'll also have sections where you jump off the track and you have this free roam area where you can go to a bunch of different. There's a couple different levels there. You can go to those in any order. There's little secrets you can find in the worlds and everything. And that's usually where you'll find like the secret world, the entrance to the special world. And special world is hard. Special world's really hard, but I've been able to do everything I've come across in it so far.
Nice. How far are you in Wonder?
I'm on World 5, I believe. Yeah, World 5. And I think like halfway through the special world.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. And I'm playing every level. Every single level.
Oh, everything.
Yes.
100%. 100% the level.
I'm gonna. Well, I haven't 100% at every level because some of those purple coins are difficult to find.
Fair.
And sometimes I accidentally didn't get the top of the flagpole. Dang it. So at some point I might 100% that, but I'm at least gonna play every level. Which is not something I can say for every Mario game because, good lord, Mario Galaxy 2 Special World is hard.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. Oh. I didn't even get that far. Man, it's been a while.
Man, why does Nintendo want to act like that game doesn't exist?
Galaxy 2?
Yeah.
I mean, played it.
It's a good game. It's a good game. It's a real good
It's a game.
In terms
but
of
it's 2.
In terms of mechanics, it might be the most polished 3D Mario game until Odyssey. But come on, when they did 3D All Stars, they left it out.
But you got Galaxy there, and 3D All Stars was a scam.
It was. So, it really was.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't actually a scam, but the whole. Okay, but the whole like we're only selling it for 1 year. That's a scam. That's a scam.
Why Nintendo?
Money.
Hello, I like money.
Money. For that reason only.
I like money.
Oh man, speaking of SpongeBob, guess what we're doing for our spring musical?
Oh no.
We're doing SpongeBob.
SpongeBob musical?
Yes.
SpongeBob SquarePants musical?
Yes.
Oh boy.
It's surprisingly good.
That's what everybody keeps telling me.
The soundtrack's fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And the story itself, they got the original writers back to write an original story for it. Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a good one. You can find a bootleg recording of the original Broadway production on YouTube.
Of course I can. Of course I can. It's in my. Well, I shall not say, just in case YouTube is watching, but
we are on YouTube.
We are on YouTube,
True,
indeed.
We are. It's on. Yeah.
There's somewhere. You won't find it though. YouTube. Ha 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 ha.
Oh. Yeah, that's gonna be fun. I also got another new game that I started to play.
No.
I started playing Lies of P.
Yo.
All right, I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
of that
Heard
game.
it's very good.
It is incredible. Absolutely stellar.
Yeah.
Ah, great. Another Souls like to add to the list.
It's also extremely difficult.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I would hope so.
Holy crap, this game is kicking my butt. Like like this is Sekiro hard.
Oh, great.
In fact, that's the main complaint I've heard about the game is that it's too hard. It's more linear than Souls games generally are. Uh I from what I've played, it's more linear than even Dark Souls 3 was, but honestly, that's fine. The level design is good enough that I don't mind that, and the combat is a ton of fun. The enemy placement is really well done, and the bosses are fantastic. I like this weird Pinocchio game.
It's on my list. Wait, let me see actually what location it's at on my backlog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's my 10th game, so I'll get around to it in probably about 5 years.
Yeah. I got so many Souls likes I gotta work through, including the actual Souls games.
Too many games, y'all.
Too many games. Dude, this year's been
This year,
stacked.
this year alone. Yeesh.
Like, I haven't even touched Armored Core.
This year is insane. I've never had a backlog before this year. It is just genuinely, it's been so freaking good. I can't remember the last time we had a year like this.
1997.
I guess so, yeah.
Well,
Was
no,
that
what-
Half-Life?
What was it? What was the
Doom?
year
No,
that
not Doom.
Nier Automata came out? Because that was like Nier Automata, Yakuza 0,
Oh,
Persona
like
5,
2015,
Wild.
2016, 2017.
Yeah,
Oh, that was another
that was
good
a good
year. Now that I think
year.
about it,
that was
yeah.
a good year.
2017, man.
Man, that was a good one. The year I think the year Metal Gear Rising came out was also a pretty good year.
That was Metal Gear Rising 2014.
Was that 2014?
Yeah,
that's what it
sounds
says
about
on
right.
that's what it says on the Steam page.
Man. Oh yeah, that checks out in my head. But yeah, Lies of P is fantastic. I decided to go full Dex build on this. So I used the rapier for a while, and man, I really like that rapier. That rapier is great. And then I got to a boss where I'm pretty sure stabbing damage was doing like nothing to it because I had so much trouble with it. So then I was like, hey, I picked up this fire axe in this dungeon. Let me use this. And then next try I beat the boss. That fire axe was really good. And
Nice.
you can change the scaling on any weapon. Like gradually, and it uses up a consumable item, but you can take the items will change like the scaling of dex and strength. The dex ones will up the dex scaling, lower the strength scaling by one scale each. And you can just do that with any weapon. So I could take the great sword and just change it to a dex weapon if I wanted. That'd be dumb, but I could. But also, you can switch out the blades and the handles of all of the weapons. It's one of the game's main gimmicks. So the handle is responsible for the move set and the scaling, and the blade is in charge of the attack speed and the actual damage. So I tested it out, and I put the great sword's blade on the rapier's handle, and you still do the rapier stabs. They're just slower, but they'll do a bit more damage because it's greatsword instead of a rapier. But I haven't really done it. I haven't really messed around a ton with that. I might do that later. But I really like the fire axe and its moveset, so I'm sticking with. Well, I was sticking with that until I got a boss weapon,
Mm.
and that boss weapon is a rapier that is also an umbrella.
Oh.
So it has its charged heavy attack is a big stab that pops out the umbrella, which will push back enemies. And I think it also blocks attacks. Uh, each weapon has like 2 special attacks, one for the blade, one for the handle, and its handle special attack is just you pop it open and use it as a shield. It just blocks everything. So I'm sticking with that for a bit. I might switch back to the fire axe, or I might switch to another weapon. This game's a ton of fun. It's also really hard. There was a boss that took me like a good at least hour of trying to beat, and I'm still fairly early in the game. So this is gonna be a tough one. This is gonna be a tough one, but I'm enjoying it. I like the games.
Neo.
How what?
Sounds like that first boss in Neo.
Oh, jeez, Neo. Hey, it wasn't as hard as the first boss of Wolong. That one I never beat. But yeah, I'm really digging the story of the game. I'm digging the tone, the world. The music's great. One of the things you can do is you'll pick up these records in the world, and then you can play them in your hub area. And if you listen to the whole thing, you start down one of the paths to one of the endings, but you have to listen to the entire thing. So the game's really interesting. I like it a lot. And the last game I've played is I kept playing Baldur's Gate.
Of course,
because it's Baldur's Gate.
Yes.
That game is giant. I'm still not done with Act 1.
Oh no.
Oh,
I feel that.
I'm getting towards 50 hours, and I'm like, okay, each Mass Effect game took me 50 hours. This is going to be an entire trilogy in one package.
Oh, good grief.
Ooh.
Just a heads up, as soon as you hit Act 2, there's going to be something you absolutely must save, Scum, or it will ruin the entire rest of the game. Know exactly what I'm talking about when you reach there.
Good to know.
Oh, good grief.
Yep.
I did.
Literally, one action will completely change the entire game for the worse.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you will know what I mean when you get there.
So I will make sure to save right when I get into Act 2.
Save the ever-loving crap just constantly throughout Act 2.
All right, will do. Yeah, I found the Githyanki Kresh in the Mountain Pass, and that has been kind of terrifying. I have alter self. No, disguise self. I have disguise self, so I can make myself look like a Githyanki, so it's not as much of a problem. But having Lae'zel there has been really interesting. I landed a freaking 30. It was a 30 DC charisma check for something that was going on with her, and I made it.
That one?
I passed that.
Dang, that's impressive.
Warlock.
Yep.
So that's been fun. I got to the big fight at towards the end of the Kresh in that area.
Yep.
And then I saw the person. The big person. And I got to a part in the conversation where I was like, I want to say this, but I should save. And I did.
Yes, you should.
And I'm very glad I did.
Yep.
Woo! Woo! Boy, that was an interesting conversation. And then I left without doing the thing that the person wanted me to do.
Yep.
I saved before I left the room, though,
Well-
because of course.
Yeah. I went to go do the thing, and then I'm like, I got to the thing where I'm literally about to do the thing, and then I'm like, you know what? Nah. And I just like completely betrayed the big person. And that's how it went.
Nice. And then the second fight, the fight right outside that room, got me killed a couple times because I was completely exhausted on resources,
Shucks.
and I was out of short rests, and I couldn't long rest because I was in like an area where it's like, no, you cannot go back to the camp right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's awful.
So I did get through that, and I got to a part in the creche where I was allowed to go back to the camp. So I did. That was the last time I played the game. It's been real busy, but yeah, that game is amazing. That's probably gonna be my game of the year.
Yeah.
What other? I know FF16 came out this year, but there was
Mine's
a
still
game
Hi-Fi Rush.
early on. Tears of the Kingdom. I keep forgetting Tears of the
Tears of the
Kingdom came
Kingdom.
out this year.
Yep.
And Fire
did
Emblem
indeed.
Engage came out this year.
Engage.
That's
Oh,
not
yeah,
my game of the
completely
year.
forgot.
What do you mean it's not your game of the year? Come on!
I love Toothpaste Chen. I would die
I
for
love
Toothpaste
Toothpaste
Chen.
Chip. Come on! Toothpaste Coon, my one beloved.
Listen, I like exactly one character in that game. And I still think
Is-
Yunaka's design is kind of dumb.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Ike. I would have.
I mean, if we're talking about those characters, I didn't even count those characters.
Listen, I'm just.
And Fire Emblem Engage is the one where you can fuck a kid, right?
Yes.
Huh?
Hold the what?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
Anna
right.
in that
Go
game
back.
is 12, and you can get
Huh?
Anna in that game is 12, and the Japanese version is like, yeah, let's get married, and then the English version is like, we are friends. Yes, we are best friends.
Yes, we are good friends. And the Japanese version is let's get married. And it's like this girl is 12 years of age. Japan, are you okay?
No.
Hey,
No.
Nintendo, just letting you guys know you signed on for child marriage.
See, here's the thing. I don't think that's even the first time that Fire Emblem's done that.
Oh no, no shot, no shot. I'm sure
No,
I've said it
it's
before.
Fates. Remember?
Oh yeah. Ah.
Your little sister. Yay!
Oh,
Oh yeah,
was
that one
your-
had that
She's
one had
also
just
your sister.
that one had straight up incest. Oh.
And of
Of
course, we have Awakening with the source of the 1,000-year-old dragon lolly.
See,
Okay, actually,
uh,
technically, Tiki was the first.
no, you
but,
couldn't
you know,
marry
it-
Tiki.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. That's true. You could not marry Tiki back in the.
Ah.
But you can in Awakening.
Ah.
Yeah.
I
Yay.
long for the days when this series goes back to the narrative style of Path of
It's
Radiance.
never It's never going
Hey,
back.
they're
Zach.
coming out with a genealogy remake, probably.
Zach, it's never. What makes you think the genealogy remake would look? It's absolutely gonna take cues from the romancing. Come on, that was the first game that had it. Come on.
Oh. Come on. They highlighted Sigurd in the freaking
The kids will actually make
Engage.
sense in this one, but you know, you know.
And
Oh, it's not going back, Zach. Zach,
Awakening,
Awakening saved the
Fire Emblem,
series.
but at
It's
what
never
cost?
going back.
But at what cost?
can I just have characters that refuse to date the avatar? Or characters
No.
that aren't like avatar sexual?
No, play Tactics Ogre. play play triangle strategy.
Look, I like some of the I like parts of the romancing. I like that. I like that there's a little bit of a dating sim in my war simulator. That's fun. But calm it down.
No,
Tone it down a little bit.
Kids. We put them in the cryogenic chamber so you could get them at the not cryogenic. What hyperbolic time chamber. There you go. What was the explanation in Fates again?
Fates. I think it was a literal hyperbolic time chamber.
It was just a literal hyperbolic time chamber. They put them in the.
It's just a pocket dimension where. It's just a pocket dimension where they age faster. Time moves faster in their pocket
kids,
dimension.
Time to neglect you for 18 years while you grow up in this pocket dimension.
Yeah. Man, I will give Three Houses and Engage credit to where they stopped with the kids. And Three Houses spaced out the romance to where a lot of the heavy romance stuff doesn't happen until after the time jump. And even then, a lot of it is like, it's saved to, you get your 1S rank at the end of the game. And then you get a little scene with that character. And then they get paired, then the characters get paired endings. Paired endings, which is really nice. That was a lot of fun. It was really fun to hear that Dorothea and Felix had a weird on and off again relationship that just kind of happened and nobody talked about it. That was neat. Why can't we have more of that? But then again, Fates was made by a different, or Three Houses was made by a different team.
Yeah, Persona Emblem now.
Can we just get the people who wrote Three Houses and the people who designed the gameplay of Engage to just make one game?
Maybe.
Please. And also just actually here's what I want. Here's what I want. Yes, I want the gameplay of Engage and the map design of Engage. But I would love Three Houses so much more if I could skip the monastery.
You can though.
Sorry, best I can do is give you Dynasty Warriors gameplay.
But you can't skip the monastery.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If I skip the monastery, I'm skipping so much important gameplay elements.
Exactly. But you said you don't like those gameplay elements.
No, I want I want those gameplay benefits, but I don't want to have to do the monastery.
Just hit auto. Just hit auto T.
No, it's awful. Auto is terrible.
Well,
either design the game to where I don't need to do all that crap in the monastery, or freaking just make it to where it's make it a menu. Make it a menu.
Oh my goodness.
Even the Somniel and Engage got it tiresome after a while, and it was nowhere near as bad. Man, did you ever do the sit-up minigame in the Somniel?
Who are you talking to? To me?
Did anyone play Engage except for me?
No. No.
No, I didn't play Engage. I never even played Fates or Three Houses. You think I'm playing Engage?
Come on.
Dang it. Okay,
I got other games to play.
Okay, then have you
things to do?
There's a sit-up mini game where you have to spam the A button, and it's absurdly difficult for no reason. Have you seen the Test Your Might mini game in the most recent Mortal Kombat?
No, I have not.
Because it's the
you,
same
like, smash
thing.
the skulls, and if you fail, you explode or whatever.
Yes.
What?
Yes. But you have to spam the button like as fast as you can, and it gets just absurdly difficult.
Okay, all right. So we're talking Cloud Strife's squat minigame from FF7 tier?
We're talking worse than that, man.
Oof.
Oh wow.
Well.
We're talking like you need a turbo button to beat this.
Ooh. Well.
I think that's it for me. I've talked long enough. How about if we're going back? We're going backwards. Mitchell, how has
Yeah,
been your month?
Mitchell.
Alright, sure here. What's how been my month?
Tell me about the Old Republic.
Oh yes. Don't worry, we'll get to the Old Republic.
Oh, boy.
So
Excellent.
you know I've been
That's
playing the
what
Old
I-
Republic.
Oh
Let's see.
yes.
What have I done?
What I want to hear.
I might start off with what I've been watching, which was mostly Halloween movies for the
Ooh,
past month for
ooh.
obvious reasons.
Spooky.
So I watched like Coraline, Corpse Bride, Frankenweenie, Scooby Doo on Zombie Island. You know the classic.
All-time
The
classic.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I haven't
Good.
seen that movie in ages.
So yeah, mostly just watching Halloween movies and whatnot. But before we move on to the amazing digital circus, which we will talk about,
Oh, no.
Yes. Oh my god, I was waiting for it.
Oh, no.
Zach, there's
Okay,
one
yeah,
thing that you
well, hold
have
on, hold on.
watched. You told me.
Oh, that's
Big Top
right.
Burger.
I did watch Big Top Burger.
I want to talk a little bit about Big Top Burger and the lore implications of the Cats musical being like 9 billion years old and written by space clowns.
Those implications.
Man. Dude,
Those
you
implications.
You said that the Cats musical was an important part of the lore, and I was like, okay, all right, we'll see. And then there was one gag with the Cats musical, and I was like, that's funny. And then I kept watching, and then Cats is an integral part of the lore.
When I said that Cats is integral to the lore, I was not exaggerating.
Well, shoot, now I have to watch this. What?
You have to watch Big Top Burger.
Big Top Burger. I'm a second.
Oh my gosh. Number one, that animation is absolutely charming. Love it.
It is super charming. I love
Yeah.
that it's 3D models in Blender that just draws like 2D faces on top of
Mhm. Yeah.
to
yeah.
give it that like hand drawn look.
It's good stuff.
He's my favorite Blender animator behind Mirabeau.
Oh man, I love Mirabelle.
Mirabeau's great.
Mirabelle released a new shit post.
Yes. Oh, he also released like a full 30-minute long episode of a series he's doing, and the whole series is basically a metaphor for him not liking Ruby anymore, and also moving on from Source Filmmaker because it sucks.
Yes.
Wait, Ruby is in
The show Ruby.
Yes.
The show Ruby?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
The guy used
He
to
has
be
an
a big
OC
fan of Ruby.
character that he made as like a Ruby OC, and then he doesn't like the series anymore, so he's trying to distance it.
okay. I'm sorry. What? I might have missed the first. What is this? What are we talking about?
It's this
Mirabeau.
animator, Mirabeau
It's a-
Studios.
Okay.
He makes absolutely phenomenal shit posts.
It's
Okay, all right.
incredible.
Let me pull some up. I'll
Oh,
post them
they're-
in chat.
They're great. They're great.
Post them all. Post every single one, right now.
There's too many.
Dang.
One of my favorites was the fine. I guess you are my little pog champ.
Oh, they did that.
No. He did
Okay.
his
Oh, they
own
did-
version
oh,
of
they-
that.
It is.
It's
okay.
Let me find it. Let me
incredible.
find it.
Oh,
I'll pull that one. And where is it?
Oh man.
what?
Oh
can
yeah,
of
that's
worms
the
did
one
I
where
open?
he does sign language, where he does like American
Yes,
sign language.
he has an OC who he didn't have a voice actress at the time, so he just made the character speak in ASL.
So he just learned how to animate sign language in
yeah.
Blender. The absolute mad lad.
Huh.
It's like, oh, it's just so smooth. Look at that.
It's very smooth.
Huh. Okay. This is always fucking Walter White, I swear. Always breaking that. What, what has happened? What is?
Like I said, the
I
man
feel like I'm
makes-
going crazy. I finished
the
Breaking
man
Bad, and
makes
suddenly everyone's like,
phenomenal shit.
"Guys, have you heard of Walter White?" Oh,
Dude,
okay, all
there's
right.
kids in my
Interesting.
class who are like, "Oh man, have you seen Breaking Bad? Oh, Breaking Bad's great." And I'm thinking, this show ended while I was in high school.
Show ended
You're
10
not
years-
talking about Better Call Saul. You're talking about Breaking Bad.
Which Better Call Saul definitely has a. I should probably watch Better Call Saul at some point.
I
I've heard
should
very good
finish
things
Breaking
about it.
Bad at some point.
You should.
I
Breaking
should
Bad is
start
good.
Breaking Bad at
Yes,
some
no, I
point.
should.
You should.
I need.
See, I feel bad because I remember everybody telling me that I'd love back in high school and being like, I'll watch it eventually. And then watching it in college, I was like, oh, this is pretty
Oh,
good.
that's pretty good.
Should have started this earlier.
Maybe they were all onto something.
Maybe they were onto something.
For once.
Yeah,
Let's be honest. Not everything that people recommended in high school was even close to good.
I
It's
mean,
like, hey, Zach, remember when you were trying to get me to watch Sword Art Online?
Oh, jeez.
Remember?
No.
Okay, but that's actually like.
And then one
godlike,
day you
okay?
walked up
That's
and you're like, never mind about Sword Art Online. You don't need to watch that one.
And hey, was I right about that?
you're right.
I
You're right about the
guess.
second part. Yeah.
Yes, I was. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
It was a fun show until the tentacles came out.
Honestly, I think even before that, I was off the boat with the whole man, he's my cousin, but also
Oh yeah, never mind. That was I forgot about that. I blocked that out of my mind. Thank you, Jordan.
yeah, no problem.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
You're my cousin and adoptive brother, but I like you anyway. Japan. Japan, why? Why can't Japan give us more wholesome romance anime, like My Dress Up Darling?
Ah, yes, the most wholesome.
Yes. Actually,
I
yes,
detect-
but kind of no.
I detect some sarcasm there.
Yes. Of
Okay,
course.
that second
My-
episode
listen.
got me worried, but then after that, it was pretty wholesome. Dude, that second episode, I was like,
My
okay,
Dress
this
Up-
is just a fetish show. This is some guy's fetish made into a
Yeah.
show. And then it moved
My
on from
Dress Up
that and it
Darling-
didn't do that again.
It's the most wholesome ecchi I've ever seen. I'll say that much.
And it's really only ecchi like once or twice.
It's a little ecchi as it progresses. The author definitely calmed down. I think he rubbed one out a couple times and felt good about himself. So it did definitely reduce the horniness later on, but it's still there. It's still there.
Well, I mean, it's a romance. That's part of the appeal.
Oh, you're right. Gosh darn it, you're right.
I mean, it's a romance that it's a romance that is its target audience is guys.
Yeah.
And let's face it is also Japan.
Always
Yep.
Japan.
I love Japan, but sometimes Japan, it's like you guys do know that you have like a birth rate issue. You could there are real girls out there. They do exist.
That's why Shinzo Abe wanted everybody to have sex and like made sure it would happen.
Hey man, don't disrespect my boy Shinzo Abe.
Your boy? What do you mean your boy?
I don't know. I just think it's wild that the Japanese. I just think it's wild that the Japanese prime minister got killed by some guy with a freaking homemade gun.
Zach was there. That
I was
Zach.
there. I was there, man.
No!
What are they doing to my boy?
You look at the pictures. And you see me cradling Shinzo Abe in my arms and screaming at the sky.
god. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, this is
Oh my
this
God,
is an
how did we
I'm
episode.
get
sorry
here?
for interrupting you, Mitch. We're going on one hell of a tangent.
How did we get here? Where am I?
We
Where are
st-
we?
we were on
Big Top
Big
Burger.
Top Burger.
Big John.
Talking about cats was written by 9 billion-year-old space clowns.
Yes.
What does that say about Andrew Lloyd Webber?
I mean, he is a clown.
Wow. Some 40-year-old housewives are gonna be real upset with you.
Some 40-year-old wine mom is real upset with me right now.
There it is.
Exceedingly so.
Oh man. But speaking of clowns, let's talk about the Amazing Digital Circus.
Oh boy.
Because wow, that thing
Yeah,
got huge.
baby.
That thing got like how many million views in 2 weeks?
I saw it was like
It's over 61 million. It beat the pilot for Hell of a Boss and every other single video on that
And like
person's
every other single animated thing on YouTube.
pretty much, yeah.
It is the new thing.
How did I not hear about this?
And it deserves it.
I don't know.
YouTube keeps
You've
pushing
you've
it on me.
100 trillion% seen the memes. No, there's no shot you haven't seen the ending of the show spliced into memes.
I mean,
like
you
a
say
million
that, but I
times.
have an uncanny ability to be out of the loop.
You know what? Fair.
Fair. So anyway, go watch the Amazing Digital Circus. So anyway, welcome to our live reaction to the Amazing Digital Circus.
Oh no.
Boy.
Yes.
Oh boy.
We're gonna spend the next
25 minutes and
22
45
seconds.
seconds.
Am I being forced to watch it now?
I have
YouTube
never
recommended
seen
it's
this.
not enough.
I have never seen this before in my life.
I've hovered it over
I have
it, and
no
now
idea
I've
how.
only ever
Right,
gotten.
Jordan, take the plunge. Just do it.
I don't.
It's good though.
I kind of don't want to.
I mean-
But it is good.
I mean, look. I can't watch it and listen to you guys at the same time. My brain don't work that way.
Not
All
with that
right. Well,
attitude.
consider this homework.
It's homework. I have it
I
pulled
have
up.
homework. I have homework.
Zach, did I steer you wrong on Big Top Burger? I
You
need you
did
to trust me
not.
on this.
You did not.
Yeah, Big Top Burger's pretty good.
It's just the pilot. Check out the Amazing Digital Circus.
It is so freaking good.
It is good.
67 million
I just-
views.
That's
Whew.
crazy.
Yep.
Insane.
Just genuinely, the ending of the pilot is just so iconic now. It's literally just like engraved in everybody's collective memory now. It's absolutely godlike. I loved every second of that thing.
Well, we're gonna get some good memes out of this. The funny thing is that the creator,
Yeah.
Gooseworks, has basically stated that if the fandom gets too weird, they're purposely gonna make the show bad.
Good. Good.
Thank you.
We can
Thank
hope
you.
so.
Absolutely.
We can only
great.
hope because the fandom's already being weird.
Yep.
Here's the thing though. The fan base is still gonna be weird even if the show's bad because
Even if they make it bad.
Steven
Extra.
Universe.
Mhm.
Whoa. Hang on. My
Jordan,
boy
right.
Steven's not gonna be catching strays here, okay?
Gordon, are you telling me right now that Steven Universe doesn't have a weird fan base?
I think a lot of fan bases are very weird.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Some Steven Universe fans are pretty chill, all right? Okay? It's always
Yes.
just that weird little
Yes.
cutout of a bunch of different fandoms that are just weirdos, okay? But, okay, let's not go on another rabbit hole. Let's not go on another tangent. Mitch, please finish your thought.
Okay. But okay, yes, I know that the Amazing Digital Circus has exploded in popularity. I know that it's uber popular and overrated, but it is still good. Like,
It
just
is.
take that and isolate it and ignore everything else
All right, it is good. Therefore, I maybe I'll like it. Who knows?
Yes, this is generally how things go. Yes, good things are liked. I
Yep.
agree.
Well, then again, Joker's a good movie, but I don't particularly like it. It's just not my thing.
Okay. Well,
Nah, I think you'll like the Amazing Digital Circus.
it's very
The
interesting.
animation
It's
is
very
so good on
I
it.
have a better chance of liking it because I am immediately biased towards animation.
yes, and the
Yeah,
animation is
fair.
top tier. I've been watching some clips that what like the lead artist has been posting. The person who was the lead artist on the pilot is supposed to like, hey, do you want to see the characters run animations? Do you want to see their walk cycles?
Oh,
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
Like that.
Yeah. Yeah, the creator, she's posted some of the like concept art for it,
Mm-hmm.
which is really cool.
Nice.
So yeah, all right, we'll move on.
All right. Okay. All right.
We can move on from the Amazing Digital Circus.
I'll do my homework, Mitchell. I
My
swear.
He's like, if you don't want the Amazing Digital Circus, at least watch Big Top Burger.
Oh, Big
I
Top
have
Burger's
watched
great.
Big Top Burger.
Also,
I was week to week on
also
that.
the biggest plus of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's 100% free on YouTube.com.
That's true.
Man,
That's
don't
true.
we love YouTube.com?
I love ad blocking YouTube.com.
I love that. Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna
Let's
have to
see. What other random independent animated shows have I been watching on YouTube?
Yeah, it does seem to be kind of your thing lately.
I listen. I don't know how I fell down this rabbit hole, but I did.
Not a bad rabbit hole.
No.
I've been keeping up with Hell of a Boss at all.
Oh yeah, they released a new episode recently.
Yeah, I am like 2 or 3 episodes behind. I really need to get on that train.
Yeah.
Shame they weren't able to get Norman Reedus back to voice that one character. I was like, well, they got a different. I mean, the new guy's really good too, but
I didn't even
it's like,
notice at first.
yeah, they
Are
have
you talking
insane
about
freaking
Norman
star
Reedus?
pull for that series.
Are you talking about
Yes,
Norman
no,
Reedus, the star of Death Stranding?
the star of
know
Death
it.
Stranding. You bet,
You know it.
you bet your booty that I am. They have insane star pull for Hell of a Boss. They got Norman Reedus. They got Kesha for one of their most recent episodes.
What?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah, they got
managed to pull
Kesha.
Kesha.
They literally got her to sing a song that they wrote.
Yeah.
Which is actually a bop. And several bunch of
Did they
other
actually
stars
get
that I
her to
can't
sing
remember
it?
their
I heard
titles.
that there was like some weird contract thing where she couldn't actually sing it or something.
Yes.
Like a weird contract
Yeah,
thing.
so there was a I mean, this is speculation. It's not been 100% confirmed, but basically the episode that she starred in was the last episode of season 1, which didn't air until about the middle of season 2. And the reason for that, people speculate, is that there was a contract issue with getting
Kerfuffle.
Kesha to come on and sing a song. Basically, yeah, there was some kind of kerfuffle, and basically it stalled the production of the final episode of season 1. So they had to push it back to whenever they could actually solve this issue.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And the music industry continues to be the worst industry.
Yes, I agree. I also get the guy who voices Vim. He voiced Vim. He voices one of the characters.
Let's see. Episode 3 of Monkey Wrench, the other animated series that I follow on YouTube, is coming out eventually. Monkey
yeah.
Wrench is like another series that I would recommend because this one is severely underrated. Not enough people are watching this. I want this one to explode in popularity.
Mm.
Yeah, I like the animator who does that one. He's pretty cool.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Monkey Wrench is good. So I'm gonna plug Monkey Wrench. Go check that one out. And then we shall move on to games. What have I played?
We know.
Okay.
I know
fine.
one. We know one.
Fine. We're start off with Star Wars.
Yeah.
I've
Hey, there we go.
been doing my dailies. I've been getting involved in the 16-man raids.
Nice.
Those have been fun. Been learning the mechanics and whatnot. Not much to tell with all of that stuff, but I was trying to wrap up a bunch of stuff to eventually move over to Final Fantasy 14. And then I got
Yeah.
super distracted for a little while and just started decorating a stronghold instead.
That sounds like an MMO player.
Yeah, I got super distracted for a few days and just started decorating a house. Whoops.
And the real estate market in MMOs is almost as bad as the real estate market in real life.
Well, that's the thing about Star Wars. There's no actual housing market. It's just get credits and you just get your own little tiny little area.
Ah.
There's no actual housing market. It's just a separate map for your little stronghold.
Okay.
So you're guaranteed a spot no matter how many people are in
I think
the server.
I think 14 now has apartments that you can get, and it's just for you, but they also have the houses.
Let me see. I got a little. May have spent a little too much time decorating. Let's see. Try and send a picture in group chat. But let's see. Other than that, just playing some other things, I dipped into Assassin's Creed Rogue for a little bit, just to
Hey.
run around, do some objectives, collect some treasure chests and whatnot.
It is
Basic stuff.
Black Flag 2.
It is. I rediscovered the very fun combo of shooting a random guard with a berserk dart, and then once everyone gathers around them, shooting a grenade.
Ah. I haven't done that. I need to do that. That's a good one.
That's a good one. It's fun. Shoot one of the big axe guys because they go down slowly. Gives people time to actually crowd them.
Yep. Yep.
And then just. But yeah, see, Rogue's fun. It's just that game where I dip my toe in when I'm bored and I don't know what else to play.
Yep.
Let's see. Up in the Discord server, you might see that I did re-download Final Fantasy 14.
Yes, I did.
Ooh.
Yes, I did.
I did. I'm wearing my tanking outfit.
Heck yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fine. My Final Fantasy character was a male Viera before it was possible.
Nice.
But yeah, I've kind of just been going around just leveling up some of the other random base classes, just to try and get back in the feel of how the rotations work.
Yeah, good idea.
And it does have some variability so that I can just be DPS or whatever. I can be whatever role is needed.
Because sometimes you just don't want to deal with those DPS queues.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I just don't want to have to be a tank and deal with the DPS.
That's fair. I will say, though, if you're a tank, you don't have queues, and that's really nice.
It is super nice not to have queues. But it also means you have so much responsibility, and that scares me.
I just say, hey, if I'm really worried about it, I'm like, hey, I'm new. What do I need to do?
I'm doing this.
What do?
Yep.
But usually if it's something that's so complicated that I need to ask that, there's another tank.
Yeah. I haven't gotten to the point where an off tank is really needed yet, so
That's late late game stuff. in Realm Reborn. Weird.
Yeah. Yep. I'm glad that I found like a good guild that like regularly does scheduled operation 60-man runs so that I can just get in even as a DPS pretty easy.
Nice.
And then they're just explaining everything over Discord. Where it's like, all right, so here's the mechanics. Here's what the DPS does. Here's what the tank does. Healers try not to let people die. All right, let's go, team. And then we wipe anyway. I don't know. And then sometimes we wipe anyway because because some of us don't know what we're doing.
Such is life.
I don't know my rotation very good.
You're playing Berserker, right? Or Warrior, right?
Star Wars. Yeah, I'm playing like the dual bladed.
Oh, I don't know Star Wars then. Sorry.
Oh, for Final Fantasy 14, mostly I main more warrior so far.
I was about to say, I think Warrior, I think the strategy is just spam Fellcleave because it's the coolest thing in the game.
Oh, nice, nice and simple. Let's see what else. All right. Then there's that. What else? What else? I think it's just Tales of Symphonia. I put a lot of hours into Tales of Symphonia.
Hey.
As I've learned, the Tales of series is a completionist nightmare. Good lord, there's so much stuff that is so easy to miss. Some of these openings for like side quests are so tiny you have to go out of your way to get them. Where it's like, all right, you wrapped up a dungeon,
Sounds
now
about
go
right.
to this town. But wait, there's a side quest where if you go to that next town, you're immediately locked out. You have to go halfway around the world first to pick
Oh
up this
no.
side
Oh
quest,
my
or you miss it
gosh.
forever.
Oh, I hate that.
I've missed so many things. I think I got over my I'm getting over my completionist urge from this game because it's like I'm not going back 3 hours for this. I'm not doing this boss fight again. I'm ignoring it. Oh, I miss so many things. I'm just like I can't go back. Let's see where we left off was trying to oh yeah, the mid game plot twist where the angels are evil, which I have now found
What?
out is the uh 1/3 of the game plot twist.
Oh.
Yep.
I am so I am not even close yet. Oh good lord, there's so much more. Like you get to the second world and you're like, oh, this is the second half of the game, right? No.
Oh no.
No, my friend, it's not.
Not even remotely.
So now we are going around and trying to form pacts with the various elemental uh, spirits to try and sever the mana flow between the two worlds to kind of break the current regeneration cycle thing that's been going on for a while.
Break the cycle.
Break the cycle. And let's see. Kratos, the dude who betrayed you, is kind of just shows up every now and then. And he's like doing his own thing, which is weird. I don't know what he's doing, but he does not really seem intent on trying to stop you. So I'm just trying to figure out what his motivations are.
It's edgy.
He's edgy. I'm kind of thinking he might be like a kind of like Jetstream Sam, where he doesn't agree with what his side is doing, but he just doesn't. It's kind of like a might make right kind of guy, maybe.
Ah, that'd be fun.
That I think that something similar-ish to that ish. I'm not sure. I gotta get a little further on. Because he's like, severing the mana flow might not be a good idea. You don't know exactly what that's going to do. And it's like, well, what other choice do we have? And he's like, well, if that's how you feel, see ya.
Fair enough.
So that's interesting. So then, this whole regeneration cycle was started by this legendary hero that you hear about in the very beginning of the game called Mythos.
Hmm.
I have now met a character named Mythos.
Of course.
Oh.
What? Why?
Hmm.
How? Oh dear God, what? I just have in my notes, why is Mythos here? Oh God, what's happening?
It shouldn't
We
be
already have
happening.
alternate universes. Are we gonna have time travel? What's going on? But yeah, I am still. I've learned that the Tales of Symphonia was originally 2 discs. I'm still on disc 1.
Yeah, I
Oh,
have it.
I am 50 hours in. I'm on disc 1.
oh my
Oh boy.
gosh.
Yep.
I was like, oh, it's a GameCube game. How long can it be? Oh, it's a Tales game. They're
Yep.
gonna drag this shit out forever.
Oh yeah.
I should have learned my lessons from Tales of Fantasia. That one also went on forever.
And which one goes on more forever? Tales of or Persona?
Ooh, that's tough.
I think the Tales of games because you're supposed to replay those games like 3 or 4 times in a row to get
Mm.
everything. If you want to be a completionist, you gotta play Tales of Symphonia like 4 or 5 times. And
Oh.
I'm like, I'm 50 hours in. I'm on disc 1. I don't have time for this. I got a job. I
I
got other games to play.
I do have this thing called sleep that I need to do.
And that's for the week. And you think I'm that weak?
Touche.
Because the answer is yes, yes, I am incredibly weak.
No.
I am so incredibly weak. I need sleep. But let's see. Tales of Symphonia, yada yada yada. I think that's everything I've mostly done, except for the 2 weekends where I actually went out and did real things. I think like the weekend after we last met up, I went to a Renaissance fair in Kansas City.
Ooh, nice.
Hey.
How'd that go?
Yep. Oh, that was a ton of fun. That is I think one of the that's definitely the largest Ren fair I've ever been to. I think it's probably one of the largest in the country
Oh, shoot.
Ooh, wow.
because that thing was massive. I legit got lost wandering around the Renaissance fair. That thing was massive. But ton of fun, ton of fun seeing like all the things, all the shops, all the costumes, everything. I spent way too much money
Of
on
course.
various things. You gotta spend too much money at the Ren fair.
It's the Ren Fair.
It's
The
the Ren
Ren
Fair.
fair. I finally got fake elf ears to go with my Legend of Zelda costume,
Hey.
Yeah.
and I got some cotton candy made from honey.
Ooh.
That was
Mm.
good.
Mm.
That was indeed
That
very
sounds
good.
great.
Now does it still dissolve in water like cotton candy?
Oh yeah, it still dissolves in your mouth, but it's
Okay.
got a very honey aftertaste.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That sounds good.
Oh, it's super good.
Yeah.
My favorite thing about cotton candy is that video where the raccoon goes to wash the cotton candy and it just
Oh
disappears
yeah,
in its fingers.
and it's just so confused. Like, huh, where
Yeah.
did it go?
Take that, trash panda.
Take that, idiot. So yeah, the Ren Fair was a ton of fun. Uh, I was just kind of wandering around and like I kept showing up to like all the little shows and expeditions, all the little shows like 5 minutes after they were wrapping up. So I didn't
Ah,
really think.
didn't even see the whip guy.
The whip guy?
Whip guy
Oh,
that's at
Shock the
like
Whipper.
yeah, the guy
Oh,
that's
John
at like all
Okay.
those Ren fairs.
I don't know if he was at this one. I don't think I saw his name on like the lists or anything. But I
Yeah,
mean,
so
he was probably here. I don't know.
yeah, he was at our Ren Fair last year. It was
No.
cool.
Have you heard of like the YouTube guy like Sellsword Arts does a lot of sword stuff?
Oh yeah.
He was at this Ren Fair,
Oh,
just doing random, kind of doing like a little fight skit with another dude.
it's cool.
Yeah, they were kind of just fighting over like this little gangplank over like a body of water and just whacking each other off into the water. So let's see. Gotta go see the jousting. You have to go see the jousting.
Yes.
You gotta.
You have to. That's a ton of fun. What was funny about this one is that it was like 30 minutes away from a different Ren Fair I went earlier in the year. And it was fun seeing like the reoccurring cast members from like, oh, did I see this dude at the last Ren Fair? Like one of the nights at the was at the tournament was at the earlier Ren Fair, and I'm like, oh, I know this dude. I've seen him.
I remember you.
I remember you. You were so the reoccurring character, so to speak. And then the week after that, I went to an amusement park in Kansas City, and it's called Worlds of Fun.
Well, now I have to ask.
Was it?
Mitchell, was it Worlds of Fun?
It was, yeah, it was pretty fun. I managed to time it perfectly on a really good day where there was not many people there, so
Ooh, nice.
I don't
Always
think
nice.
I stood more than like 10, 15 minutes in line ever.
Nice.
So I got to ride pretty much everything in the park. There was like one new ride that everyone was lining up for, and I skipped that one
Nice.
because it's like, oh sweet, everything else is open. So yeah, Worlds of Fun was pretty good. So that Monster Hunter Iceborne was on sale earlier this month, and I was
Oh,
so tempted to get it.
did
I
you?
did not.
Oh,
I did not because
saved it
I'm
off.
like, I keep thinking that like surely right around the corner they're going to announce another Monster Hunter game. They usually churn these out with pretty regularity. It's super popular in Japan, so they usually churn one out pretty consistently. So I'm like, I think it's about that time, but they're going to announce a new one any day now.
Any day now.
Any day now. But yeah, no, I kind of want to wait and see.
Oh.
Let's see. Other than that, that's about it. Other than the fact I did pre-order that Pomni plush from the Amazing Digital Circus.
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
have
Oh
the
my god, I
depressed
gotta do that now. I gotta get that one.
I
Get the
have the
blush.
depressed clown plush. And with that
Existential
rounds up
crisis.
existential crisis clown.
plush.
Existential Crisis? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna
Okay.
have to watch it then.
You're gonna have to take
Yes.
the plunge, Jordan. I know this is a big ask, but please trust me on this. I know I'm also the guy that's like, the series about cats being a 9 million-year-old play written by
Oh.
space clowns is good, but
Okay, Mitchell, I've watched Big Top Burger though. I'm already in that.
so you know.
So
that
I
it's good.
know, yes.
Okay.
That show got me through 2020, man. That or
That's so good.
2021? 2020? 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2020.
Yeah, man, I love what was his face? Cesare.
Yeah.
Every line that man speaks is gold.
Or Cesare, I think. Cesare, I don't know. Pretty good.
Desiree is the pronunciation that it should be, even if it isn't.
Cesare's got the bad food,
It's pretty good.
as you know.
Pretty good.
It's like, Jordan, just give it a chance.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'll do my homework. I promise. Next month when we do this, I'm gonna say, all right, Amazing Digital Circus. I know I'm super late to it, like I am with every video game, but you know what? with every
But
video
you know
game,
what?
every piece of media.
Trash.
But you know what? That was
You know what? Overrated.
no.
Didn't
Hey,
like it.
say
Only
say
stupid
that,
idiots
Jordan.
like it.
Jordan, if you say that, it'll get us all the views.
Like, think of the controversy.
Think of the
There's no bad.
controversy.
There's no such thing as bad publicity.
Think of the
Absolutely not.
controversy.
As we know
Oh,
from
man.
every single YouTube drama, there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Oh yeah, you just Google "Amazing Digital
Exactly.
Circus" on my phone, and it's like, yeah, the first entry, great. The moment you scroll down, oh god,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Oh, is it one of those fan bases?
oh yes.
It is one of those. I hate to be that guy,
Oh,
but as a casual observer.
Oh boy. Well, I'll
So
just
Jordan, just don't scroll down.
I'll just
Okay, all right.
I'll
Just
just
never
treat it
scroll.
like I'll treat it like I did Undertale, where I'm like, that's a good game, and there's nothing else about it.
Just
Nothing else about it.
judge the piece of media by the media itself and not by the reaction to its fans. Or by its
Yes,
fans. So,
please do
Ooh.
not judge the Amazing
Yeah.
Digital Circus by the reaction of the fans. I beg of you.
and okay. I've been around the internet block, so to speak, for a while. We can all agree that it's like not most of the fandom that's like this.
No.
I feel like
It's
most
just
of
the
the fans.
loudest part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Eh.
No, oh no, I was agreeing. I was
Oh,
agreeing.
okay. I thought you were like,
I
eh.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think
no,
it
this
cut
one's a
off.
little extra
I think it cut
weird.
off like half my response. I said yeah. I said yeah. I think it cut. I think it cut me off.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Awesome.
No, you should have stuck with that. You should have stuck with
Just should have gone with it. Just should have rolled with it.
All right.
Let's see, and that. Yeah, that's about it with me because I've been busy with work, wrapping up the fall season and moving into winter, which I'm actually going to be staying up here for the winter.
Oh.
They have work for
That's
me up here in the
interesting,
winter,
okay.
which,
Oh, wow.
on one hand, it'd be nice not to hemorrhage money this winter.
True.
Mhm.
On the other hand,
That is true.
I've already seen snow.
Oh, yep.
It's already snowed up here, man. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I don't want to be walking outside in this weather. It's cold.
That's the Midwest for you.
That's the Midwest. I don't like it.
Oh yeah, there.
But yeah, we are kind of mixing up how the surveys are done. So the surveys will be taking a little longer this winter. So I might actually get back into listening to audiobooks while I'm doing transects.
Hey.
Nice.
So with any luck, I'm gonna try and catch up on my reading.
Yeah.
First in line, Coraline.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Solid
hopefully
strat.
I'll have some books to talk about next time we meet up.
Yeah.
And
Pretty
with
cool.
that is over to you, Jordan, right?
I guess so.
Yes, since we're going backwards.
Since we're going backwards. Cool. Well, it has mostly been work for myself, so I don't have too much in the way of updates, but I gotta give y'all a little something because it has been a month. So I believe last time I talked to you all about playing Tunic, the indie game,
All right.
the
Yeah.
Blue
Oh,
Fox Zelda like
The Zelda.
Fire.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Zelda, but also kind of Souls like a bit. Cute, fun, cool. Haven't really touched it all that much. Not because it's bad, just because I've had other things that have been taking over my time. Like, I picked up Bomb Rush Cyberpunk on
Oh, yeah?
a whim.
Eh,
And
Oh yeah.
It's good. It's how do I put this?
here come the mixed feelings.
No, because it's not bad at all. It's like I feel like it
But-
really does capture that vibe of like Jet Set Radio, Jet Set that Jet Set Radio vibe, and like the gameplay absolutely better than the OG Jet Set Radio. Let me tell you, The controls so much better. It's so much fun to just like run around, grind on rails, do flips, and run on walls, and you know it almost. I feel like I hear people say that it's like less Jet Set Radio. It's like it's almost like a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but with Jet Set Radio aesthetics. Uh, which is fun, which is really really cool. That's kind of the whole game, which again is not a bad thing, but it's really nice because it ends up just being, oh, cool. Well, I'm just gonna, you know, do some tricks. Let me see how long I can extend this combo. So I end up just kind of vibing while playing it, which is fun. Still haven't beaten it though, so I should probably do that at some point. But yeah, Bomber Cyberpunk, it's good. Soundtrack, bang it. Love the soundtrack. It's very very good. Of course, the aesthetic, really, really good. A lot of love and care was put into this game. Shout outs to Team Reptile. They did a excellent job with it. Uh, very happy. Very, very happy with it. But yeah, I can it's one of those games that I really like, but it's one of those games that if somebody was like, I don't see the appeal, I'd be like, that's fair. It might not be for you. This is very much this fills a specific niche. You might not like that niche, and that's okay. It's a good game though. I really like it. I really, really like it. Yeah, yeah. It's fun. Bomber Cyberpunk. I'll finish it at some point, but
Now, if I play if I play Bomber Cyberpunk before Jet Set Radio, will I be able to go back to Jet Set Radio?
Probably not.
And I'm gonna have to play Jet Set Radio.
Yeah, probably not. It's people have said it multiple times. It's mostly the controls are a bit dated on the Jet Set Radio, and that's because it was made for the Sega Dreamcast. So, eh, see, that's hard because, like, absolutely, it's kind of carried by its aesthetics. Jet Set Radio is, which,
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
it's not a bad thing at all. I think
No.
the aesthetics are really really cool.
If I'm being completely honest, a lot of The World Ends With You is carried by its aesthetics, and I love that game. That game's amazing.
Pump your brakes, kid. That game is a national treasure.
That game is a national treasure. Yeah.
That game's an international treasure. I need you to hang on a second.
It's an international treasure that nobody bought.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Nobody bought it. Nobody bought it.
I love
twice.
12. I love 12. It got a sequel, so ha!
It did get a sequel, and nobody bought
After
it
10
again.
years. I do need to get the sequel. Actually, while it's still cheap.
I
do need to get the sequel while it's still cheap.
I need to beat the sequel.
You have it?
I have it. Yeah,
man.
it's good.
Yeah, you should beat it.
It's real good.
But you haven't beaten it?
No, I haven't.
Oh
beaten
man.
it.
No, I have to get
I
it.
beat
Well,
the
no, I can't.
first section of the game.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I might need to put that on my to get list. But anyways,
story and characters of World Ends With You, fantastic. Gameplay, divisive, but I love it. Aesthetic is incredible.
oh yeah, the gameplay it is kind of divisive. Yeah.
Yes, it is. It is. That's why they changed it in the sequel, and still nobody bought it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Please shut your mouth. Shut your dirty whore mouth.
Whoa.
Wow,
Hey now.
okay, wow.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Where did that come from?
This is one of my favorite games, man.
Okay.
Maybe my favorite game.
Shout out to The World Ends With You.
Listen,
okay.
I do actually want to play it because I think it shows up in Kingdom Hearts at some point, right?
It does.
It
Dream Drop Distance.
It does in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, I do actually plan on playing it. So maybe calm down there.
Yeah. I remember when I got Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance back in the day, and I was like, I have no clue what's going on in this game.
No, Mitchell, I take back everything I said.
So, what, you're not gonna stand by your convictions, you coward?
Oh.
No, because I said it for comedic effect, but I mean, if you want me to.
Oh boy.
If you want me to stand by those words, I can.
Okay. Stop the fighting. Stop the fighting, please.
He's like, I need to drive back down to Texas to settle this.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's go. That's a pretty long drive. Will you meet me halfway? Like
I mean, let's see.
Arkansas?
What's halfway? What's halfway?
All right, let's see.
My God.
Halfway have a Bucky's?
I don't think so.
Probably
dang
not.
it. Dude, I went to an off, like a not totally not Bucky's on a vacation one time, and it sucked.
Yo, they got yuppies.
Yuppies.
It was like
Yeah, I
something
think the
with
halfway point is
bees.
probably going to be Oklahoma City.
Oh, ooh, that's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Let's see. How's
That's not a bad drive.
Let's see. Next
OKC.
week's no good. After that's Thanksgiving. You're gonna be busy for Thanksgiving, right?
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's. I don't know. We're selling this out later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're totally remembered to do this at some point.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. You better
It'll
watch
be the-
yourself.
Be the battle of
Oh,
the
you better
ages.
watch your back and watch your mouth.
Yeah, you watch your mouth.
All right, Pinhead Larry and Dirty Dan. Need you to,
What are we talking about again? Where are we again? Jet Set Radio.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was kind of the thought. Bomb Rush Cyber fun game. I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's a good game. Good game. I'll finish it at some point and I'll let y'all know. Still in Link's Awakening. I think I've beaten the 6th dungeon. 5th dungeon? 5th dungeon. 5th dungeon is the one that I just beat. So still have 6, 7, and 8. Almost finished with that game. That game is really good. Man,
Yeah.
I always forget that that's a Game Boy game, but man, that's a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. I miss 2D Zelda. It's fun. It's really, really good. Trekking along on that. And then also Tears of the Tears of the Kingdom. It's a fantastic game that is going to take me an eternity to finish, but I am determined to finish it. But I am quickly approaching the point where I realize, I might be still have some of this game to play next year. So I might take a break on Tears of the Kingdom in the next coming weeks. More than the one that I already took on this game. I know, right?
I mean, I only beat Breath of the Wild like a few months ago, so.
I mean,
Same.
fair, yeah.
Same.
No, but I got it with the intention of beating it. I'm gonna beat it, but I want to
I mean, I beat Breath of the Wild. Our get around to beating Tears of the Kingdom too. I'm just gonna take my time with it.
That's fair. Fair.
I
Besides,
have
I need
much more motivation to beat Tears of the Kingdom than I did Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yeah, because I enjoy my time in Tears of the Kingdom more than Breath of the Wild.
Tears of the
That's fair.
Kingdom, to me, is a great game that is 100% not a 96 out of 100 on Metacritic.
I agree, but I also kind of felt the same way about Breath of the Wild when everybody was like, "This is the greatest game of all time," and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"It's
That's what
good."
happens with every Zelda game. It's like the new greatest game of all time, and then you
That's
get the actual
fair.
6 months later.
That's
Like,
true.
That's fair, dude. Skyward Sword, 10s across
Yeah.
the board.
Across the board.
Even me,
And listen,
who likes that game,
I
look
love
back.
Skyward Sword.
I look
It's
back and
not
I
a
go,
10.
that's no 10. Ugh.
It ain't no 10.
Oh.
I love Skyward Sword. I'm one of those people. I love Skyward Sword. I will defend Skyward Sword. It ain't a 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The trick is that you actually got to stand up and swing your whole arms.
Yeah.
It's true.
I
You
don't know.
got to get into it.
I love the
You're-
Wii.
You
Oh
got
God,
to
I love motion
imagine that
controls.
you're
Please,
actually
Nintendo
swinging a
Sama.
Master Sword.
Please, Nintendo. We need more waggle. We need it. Put waggle in the game.
Nintendo, there was
But
not enough waggle in this game, please.
yeah, like I don't know. I feel like it's weird because I feel like I enjoy Tears of the Kingdom as a game more than I enjoyed Breath of the Wild as a game. But I remember
Yeah.
absolutely crushing Breath of the Wild when I won't say crush, but like I finished Breath of the Wild in like 2 weeks. Like I'd go to work, I came back home, Breath of the Wild, and I just play for hours. But now I don't find myself playing for nearly as often or nearly as long with Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm enjoying my time with it. It's still
Yeah.
very, very fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, it wasn't Breath of the Wild when I
it
was
is a
like
fun game.
when we were mostly still in college.
Yep.
yeah, yeah,
It
Yeah.
was the same year of P5, Yakuza 0, Nier
yeah.
Automata. That year was stacked.
That was a
Yeah, I
great
didn't
year.
have to
That was
like try and figure out Roth IRAs and 401ks then, so
Yeah, that's very
kind of
true.
one factor.
Very
I think
true.
it's like every 6 years we get like a really banger year. I guess not including 1997, which absolutely was a banger year, but
The banger year
2011 was
where all of
great.
us were
2017 was great. 2023's been great.
true.
Like,
Yeah.
hot
True.
day.
Video games are good sometimes.
Believe it or not, despite what people online might say, video games can actually be pretty good.
Hey man,
Um,
until it stops being cool to say something that people like is bad, actually, there will always be people who say video games are bad.
well, it's a shame. Games are good. They can be. They're fun. They can be.
Mostly.
Mostly. uh, yeah. So, Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not giving up, folks. I'm gonna beat this dang game this year. Maybe not. But I'm gonna
I
beat
believe
it
in you.
because there is another game. There is another that has
Oh.
been on my shelf that I need to at least pop in and play a bit this year because I made a promise last
Yes,
year
you
and I'm not
did.
gonna fulfill it.
Yes,
I
you
know
did.
I'm not gonna fulfill it.
No, you're
That's
not.
What game would that be?
It'd be Xenoblade Chronicles.
Pray
Xenoblade
tell.
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Saw it
Xbox
coming
was-
and I still loved it.
s- Why did I make that promise? Why did I say
Next
that?
year. Next year.
I'm not
Fine.
gonna make that promise next year. I'm not gonna make the promise. At least not here.
It's fine. I've been playing Xenoblade 2 on and off for like 3 years now, and I took 5 years to beat X. Like,
Maybe I just
I
was
don't
going
know
slow.
my
how, but
philosophy is the moment I look at a game and I start planning it out like it's a job, I go, time to go on the shelf for 6 months, forget
Maybe-
about you, and
Maybe
then
that's my issue.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just planning ahead, and in planning ahead, I
add stress
the
to
game.
it. And the moment I
Yeah.
add stress to the game, it's like, all right, time for you to go on the shelf.
You might be right. Maybe I need to
I-
stop doing that.
Dude, I burned myself out on Xenoblade 1. That game, I
Yeah.
I crashed and burned on that game right at the end.
Oh no.
Then I finished
Well.
it, and then I didn't play Future Connected for like another year.
Oof.
And then I played that and blasted through Xenoblade 2 because I ignored the side content entirely.
Oh, I was just ignoring the side content. I was literally just the main story.
Oh yeah.
Just because I was like, I'm
That's
not wasting my time with these medals.
Oh,
The what are they? The gems? No, I'm not doing that gem thing. That's dumb.
dude. Gem crafting
Oh,
is
but you
super
can make it so
essential
broken
in
though.
the end game. I was like, dude, I
Ah.
beat Xenoblade 1 and I beat Future Connected, and I was like, you know, maybe I'll go back and do all the endgame content in Xenoblade 1. And then I started the process of grinding for the stuff. Like, just for all those conversations with the characters, the stuff I like the most. And I immediately felt, oh no, I'm gonna burn out again immediately. I'm not doing this. Nope, done. Putting this game down.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who knows? I still got what, a month and a half, 2 months, 2 months before the end of the year. Who knows? Maybe a miracle will happen.
Maybe.
I'll
There's
suddenly
always- so you're telling me
suddenly-
there's a chance.
I'll suddenly have the urge in myself to really feel it and put in Xenoblade Chronicles or something. I don't know.
And the time.
Until then, Tears of the Kingdom. Good. Yeah. And then aside from playing Rocket League, seems to have consumed my life, unfortunately. Uh, I was talking to another friend of mine, and he was like, "Listen, I'm a level with you. I will. I'm going to force you to play this game right now. Not Rocket League, just this game." And I was like, "I don't know why would you do this?" And he's like, "Because I need somebody to play this game with, and I will purchase this game for you. Just do it, okay?" And I was like, "Okay, all right." I relented. He paid this game for me, and I played it pretty much all of last night. It's Overcooked. It's Overcooked too.
Overcooked
Um,
slap.
I got slapped, fellas.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
yes chefing all
Oh no.
over the
It's
place. You don't know. Well, I won't say you don't know, but stress. That game is stress incarnate. It is fun, but also stressful, but also like when you get a thing in and like send it at the perfect time, you're just like, let's fucking go. It's I don't know, fellas. I think Overcooked might be the perfect game. I the perfect definition of what a game is. No. But yeah, Overcooked is a lot of fun. I felt really stressed out, but uh he, my friend was even like, he's enjoying it. And he was like, "We're gonna beat the whole game. We're gonna beat the whole game." And I'm like, "We're gonna play this game like twice, and then we're gonna drop it like a sack of potatoes." And he's like, "No, we're gonna beat the whole story. We're gonna beat the whole story." So I'll keep you all updated as to my Overcooked 2 adventures next month. If I'll let y'all know if we beat the story or if we drop the game like a hot sack of hot potatoes. So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's about everything that I've been playing. Uh as to things that I've been watching, I've been meaning to get caught up. So I with some friends I started watching Jujutsu Kaisen season 2. Uh Very good. Very good. I'm pretty much all caught up on the manga. It's one of the few manga that I read like week to week. So it's really
nice.
cool seeing seeing it animated and uh yeah, whoo, they're in the Shibuya arc now. Man, oh boy, things are going crazy. Things are going absolutely nuts. Um so I'm excited to see where the I'm excited to see this adaptation of the story because so far it's been very, very, very good. Uh and Jujutsu
Nice.
Kaisen's probably one of my favorite like ongoing manga right now, honestly. And I know that's kind of basic to say, but like it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun. I really enjoy it. Uh so yeah, that's one thing that I've been watching. I'm almost caught up. I don't think I've seen the latest 2 episodes, but you know, you know, if it's cool. It's whatever. And then I don't know what possessed me to start watching this, but I heard a friend talk about this show and I started watching it. It's called I Think You Should Leave on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I
It's
think I've seen this. Wait, hold on.
That show's
it's the
great.
it's the sketch comedy show by
Uh-huh.
what's his
Yeah,
name? What's his name? I can't remember.
Tim Robinson.
Tim Robinson. That's it. That's it.
That show's great.
That show has a lot of misses, but when that show
When that
hits,
show hits,
when
oh.
it hits, oh my god! I, I, there are a couple of segments that just had me crying from laughter. One of my favorites is the hey, can you come to our table and like tell my date that she's eating all of all of the chips with meat on it? She's tell her it's a rule. and when he comes back and it happens, she's like, "Did you tell the waiter to do that?" He's like, "What? What are you talking about?" I just about died. It's basically a
Oh, man.
a sketch comedy show. Each of the episodes are only like 15 minutes long. And there's only like 6 episodes each season, so it's a really, really quick watch.
Freaking guy in the hot dog suit.
Guy in the hot dog suit, just it's ridiculous.
We're all just
Some of-
trying to find out what happened.
What happened? Who did this? It's ridiculous. Some of the sketches, yeah, they're kind of some of them are all right. I'm not gonna lie, but there are a couple of like skits in there that are really really funny. So
Hey, not even Monty Python's Flying Circus was always hits.
that's true. That's true. They can't all be winners. They cannot all be winners. So yeah. It's a funny little show. Funny little show. So I think I finished all of season 1. I'm like halfway through season 2, and I accidentally started with season 3, so I'm like halfway by mistake.
Oops.
So I so yeah. Yeah, it's a funny little show. I might continue watching it on Netflix if Netflix stops being stupid, but you know.
Fat
You
chance
know.
of that.
A fat chance of that, unfortunately. Yeah. So that's about all I've been watching. I haven't really been watching too much to say, but you know. Moving on to stuff that I read. I compared to the last couple of months, I have not read too much, which is a bit unfortunate. I still have 4 more books to read before the end of the year, which I think I'll be able to hit, but yeah. So time is running out. However, one book that I did read for the month of October was a classic that we did not get to read in high school. At least I don't think we got to read it. I decided for the spooky month, I decided to read Frankenstein by Miss Mary
Hey!
Shelley.
I
Uh,
haven't
is a
finished that,
banger
but it's
novel.
good.
It is. I did finish it. It's a good book. Very, very good book, but definitely not what I was expecting per se,
No.
and not in a bad
Oh,
way.
yeah.
Not in a bad way. But
Completely different from all of the film or
Yeah.
TV
Mhm.
adaptations.
yeah, exactly. It's way more. I don't want to say heady, but it's very much more like, you know,
A little
we're
bit more
discussing.
cerebral.
Yeah, yeah.
The monster is an actual character
Yes.
Yeah,
instead of
yeah.
just like this monster.
Yeah, instead of the
tell-
monster being a
Tell me that Young Frankenstein isn't an accurate interpretation of the book.
sorry, unfortunately,
Of
no.
course.
No.
Actually, a lot of people get that wrong. So Frankenstein is the manga, and Young Frankenstein is the anime adaptation, but the manga wasn't finished whenever they adapted it, so they had to make up their own ending.
Oh my god.
That's a good one, Aaron. That's a good one.
Okay.
That's one of the
Okay.
strongest ones in a while.
So does this mean the upcoming Frankenstein movie Andrew Garfield and Oscar Isaac is the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood of Frankenstein?
Oh my god, yes. Yes.
Which, by the way, that got announced as I was reading that book, and I was like, I am there. 100%. Yeah, it's a good book. If you haven't read it, basically, you know, Frankenstein makes the monster, and then like a lot of time passes
Mhm.
where Frankenstein's
Yep.
basically just like, oh my god, it could come back at any moment. He gets sick a lot. He does get sick a lot in the
does.
book.
He sure does.
You know, and then he's like, everybody's like, yo, bro, you should go back home. You should chill out, all right? Hopefully you'll feel better. And he's like, okay, yeah, let me just get back home. I'll start to feel better and all that great jazz. Cool. And he goes home, and then he starts to feel better, and he's like, yeah, yay. And then he goes out in the woods, and the monster's like, why did you abandon me? Do you know what I had to do? I had to fend for myself for a whole year. My favorite neighbors became my life. I watched them like a stream. He became a parasocial, like, which I feel bad for. Which, okay, in the context, like, okay, Frankenstein's monster is basically a baby. He was like, I don't know how to do anything. So I'm just like, and it was really sad, because I was like, oh, this isn't gonna end well. This isn't gonna end well, is it? He's gonna meet the family. And they're gonna be like, oh my god, he's so ugly, and he's like, oh, this is so ugly, I can't do anything. The uh I thought it was weird. The book was kind of funny in a couple of spots. Like there were a couple of moments where I was just like, that this is kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. Like I guess spoilers for this 200-year-old book. If you haven't read Frankenstein,
Oh my god.
sorry. Towards the end of the book, when the wretch, like, well, after Frankenstein is like, no, I'm not. Screw this, and then the monster's like, well, okay, I'm just gonna start killing now. uh and like after the monster like kills his cousin slash love interest, and he's like, and Frankenstein's like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna spend the rest of my life to kill you. The monster's like, yes, chase me, give chase to me. And when Frankenstein is like too weak to carry on, he finds like a sack of food with a note that's like, here's some sustenance to keep you going, but chase me. Like oh man,
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
it's pretty funny, but like overall it's kind of a sad book, unfortunately, believe it or not, because the and it very kind of goes in, oh, I was proper care, we should have been like, you should have been able to be there to teach me, my creator, you should have been there to teach me, but you weren't. I was a wretch and nobody likes me, so everybody hates me, and what am I supposed to do? you know and it's just a really sad book, unfortunately, but it was very, very good, very, very good. I really liked it. uh yeah, way more than I probably should have. And I know a lot of people were like, oh, I read this in high school. you know Fun
Go
book.
back-
I
go
really
back-
enjoyed it.
Just go back and reread the books you read in high school. They're probably a lot better than they were back then.
I have been needing an excuse to go back and read The Count of Monte Cristo and see if it is still my favorite
Yeah.
book.
And read the unabridged version this time.
Get the 10,000, the Brandon Sanderson special,
Yeah.
10,000 pages.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Dude, I have it on my
Yeah.
shelf. I can see it. It's there taunting me.
I probably should, but probably not this year.
s-
Probably not this
yeah.
year.
I still consider that book to be like the best book I've read, and I haven't read it in over a decade.
Same here. I should check to see if that's still the case at some point. But yeah, that's cool. That's Frankenstein. It's a good book. If you haven't read it already,
Maybe I could use that book for one of my classes, because they let me choose whatever books I want.
Frankenstein or The Count of Monte Cristo?
Either one, honestly.
Fair. I think Frankenstein would absolutely be a great Halloween, like that
Great
really did kind
Halloween,
of
yeah.
set the great
Yeah.
Halloween book. It really set
Yeah.
the mood.
Only thing is that's the unit when we do drama.
I mean, it's basically a drama.
When I say drama,
You mean
I
theater? You mean
play.
theater? Yeah, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yes. So we had Romeo and Juliet and the Diary of Anne Frank. Which, hey, Diary of Anne Frank is kind of horrifying.
Kind of.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a smidge. Yeah. So, but yeah, get those kids on Count of Monte Cristo. Talk to them about revenge. Is Edmond Dantes a good guy?
Is Edmond Dantes a good man?
Debatable. That's for you to find out.
That's for you to decide. All right, now write me a paper about whether or not Edmond Dantes is a good person.
I mean, that's a solid topic, honestly.
Cite evidence from the text.
That'd be a good assignment. But hey,
It
that's
would
for
be
you to figure out, not me, because I'm not teaching.
Dude, it's so frustrating because we only get 6 weeks for each unit.
Mm.
And
6 weeks for 2 books, I'm assuming?
well, no, not 2 books, like 6 weeks for 1 book, but even then, for high schoolers, that's not a lot of time.
Mm.
Like 6 weeks wasn't enough time for Romeo and Juliet, but I did it in 6 weeks.
Yeah, that play isn't that long.
No, it's not. It's not one of the
Yeah.
longest plays he wrote.
No. Hmm.
Like, it's like Macbeth is the shortest, but Romeo and Juliet's not that long. Excuse me.
Well. Okay. All right. Frankenstein, finish Frankenstein. Frankenstein good. Good. So from there, the book that I am currently reading, the one that I have been stuck on for a while, not because it's bad, but because I've just been busy. Good Omens. Good Omens by Terry Pratchett
Hey!
and Neil
Oh
Gaiman.
shoot! There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Watched
So
a TV show with my girlfriend.
yeah, I want to watch the TV show, so I
Oh, it's
have the
great.
book. I got the book back when the show was first announced, like 5, 6 years ago. Never finished the book, and was
Ah.
like, okay, yeah, let me just finish the book. Let me just finish the book. Um, I am now farther now than I was when I first started the book, or when I first dropped off the book. So it's a weird experience. I'm in uncharted territory. Um, the book is good. The book is good. Um, there are specific characters in this book that are unabashedly British as hell, and it makes their conversation a bit what's the word? What's the word? Well, like part of the book is like follows some British kids because one of the kids is the Antichrist, and they're just they're just mucking around. The kid doesn't know it just yet, but they're being kids, and so I was like, oh man, what are these kids saying? I don't understand. It's full of old British slang. I can't I can't decipher this. So, but the book itself, very, very good, very, very fun. I really like Crowley and Aziraphale. Aziraphale.
Aziraphale.
Yeah,
Aziraphale.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Aziraphale. Cool. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
correct. So yeah,
You
I
were.
really like those two. They're pretty good. We are just at the part where what are their name? The four horsemen are starting to be. Oh well, it's apocalypse time. Let's go. So
Ah, yes.
yes. So I should hopefully be able to finish that book within the next couple of days because I definitely have a couple of other shorter books that I would like to finish reading so that I can get back up to my reading goal. So yeah,
Nice.
good book. I'll let y'all know once I finish it. It's a good time. Uh, so that's
Is
about
it
everything.
obvious
Oh,
which parts are written by Sir Terry Pratchett and which parts are written by
yes.
Neil Gaiman?
Yes, as somebody who has read both Pratchett and Gaiman now, yes, it is so obvious. because Terry Pratchett freaking loves his asterisks, man. He loves putting a little asterisk on something and putting a little footnote and making a joke at the bottom of the page. And I'm just like, "Oh, okay. All right, cool. You know?" So, that's one that I'm like, oh, "Okay, that's gotcha. Um, and Pratchett is always very like tongue in cheek, very like witty and funny, but also like when he cracks a joke, sometimes it's like huh, oh man, like really makes you think, huh? Kind of a joke, but yeah, and then Gaiman is like masterful at world building, masterful prose. I really like the way he writes stuff. And when it comes I I've just kind of reserved it to the point where it's like, oh, prose is probably Gaiman, or if it's like a funny hee hee ha ha joke, but also very insightful, it might be Pratchett. But
And if there's a footnote, it's Pratchett.
100%. 100. If there's a footnote on the page, Pratchett definitely wrote that part. 100. Uh, so it's a good time. It's a very, very good time. Yeah, man, it's a good book. I like it. Hopefully, I should be able to finish that pretty soon. So that is all I have been. I believe that concludes most everything that I've done, except for one last thing. Folks, I haven't talked about it too much on this podcast, but I was in a D&D campaign for about the last almost 2 years now.
Mhm.
And as of as of this Thursday, we officially had our last campaign for this D&D session. Making
Oh
this
shoot.
Ooh.
only the second time I've been in a campaign that has gone to completion. So,
Woo!
Nice.
yeah, it was nice. We beat the big bad. The world was saved, although one of our party members did die, kind of, sort of. They ended up dying, but also like living so that they could like keep the big bad sealed away. And they were just like, yeah, I'll sacrifice myself to basically keep them at bay. It was cool. Very, very
Hmm.
cool moment. And so as of last Thursday, we had kind of an epilogue session where we kind of rounded out what our characters did after, the fates of some of our favorite NPCs. And it was a good time. Very heartfelt, very touching. We'll miss this campaign. We are already planning for the next one, which makes things even better. So psyched.
Yeah.
Can't wait. It's been a good time. Man, believe it or not, playing playing imagination with dice with your friends is actually very fun. Who would have thunk it? Uh yeah. So with that, that is about everything on my agenda. That is everything that I wanted to talk about. Uh so Aaron, what you been up to?
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Hello, gentlemen.
It's
It's
been a long
time
time
for me
coming.
to discuss all of the things that I have done for like the last month,
Mm?
which are many and multifarious.
Oh.
So I guess I'll go ahead and start with what I watched. So to start, right, like almost right after we had our last session, I went out and watched Dumb Money,
Oh.
which is about the GameStop stock situation that happened
Mm-hmm.
in like I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember when it was
2020, right?
2021, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
2020, 2021. I can't even remember. But anyway, yeah, that was a pretty good movie. It's clear they were lionizing the characters in it a little bit too much. Like it was 99% like for the meme, and then 1% like sticking it to the man. Those big hedge funds or what have you, and like that was definitely a good thing that came out of it, but like for the most part it was just like a huge meme. And
Yes.
they kind of tried to play it a little bit serious, and it kind of worked. I mean, it was certainly interesting. I would say it was a good movie overall. I had a good time with it. I had fun. I liked all the different character threads they had going through it. Yeah, it was a good movie. I liked it. I liked it. Next, I watched Justified City Primeval,
Ooh.
which is the sequel series to the original Justified. So the original Justified followed a U.S. Marshal who basically he's a U.S. Marshal in Florida. He shoots a guy, and the U.S. Marshals are like, "We don't know if that shooting was justified, so we're gonna ship you back to your hometown while we wait for to see whether or not uh this shooting was justified and you can come back on the force." So the show is basically him in his hometown in like Tennessee, good old country boy, and like he shoots up and he's like a crazy has like the fastest draw of like anyone in the US Marshals, and pretty much it's pretty much a modern contemporary western of sorts. And the original series was great. I would even go so far as to say it's one of the best TV shows ever made. Um,
and then they released this sequel series, Justified City Primeval, which is only one season, and it takes place in Detroit. Basically, U.S. Marshal on vacation with his daughter, and then he gets trapped in Detroit because of reasons, and basically is hunting this guy who killed this judge, and it's basically him trying to get evidence to bring this guy to justice for an entire season, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I don't think it's as good as the original series, but it certainly had its moments. And good lord, is the main villain just so freaking hateable. Um, I will say there's some pretty dicey propaganda at work where it's kind of like, well, look at all these dumb lawyers and judges getting in the way of my
Oh,
good old
oh
fashioned
yeah.
shooting a guy. Uh,
Mhm.
and it's like
Mhm.
these dumb lawyers defending bad people, they need to go. They're
Yeah.
evil and bad and wrong. And I'm like, well, maybe not. Let's maybe chill with saying the justice system is like the judicial system is awful and corrupt and horrible. We need to get rid of it. Yeah, but besides that, it was a great show. The main character Raylan Givens is uh yeah, he's a guy. I like him.
He's a guy.
Um,
He's a
he's
guy.
definitely one of the guys of all time.
Oh man.
No,
Mhm.
he is very cowboy. That's how I would describe him. He's very much he's a rough and tumble cowboy who's not phased by anything. Is a real good old fashioned country boy, and yeah, he's a likable character. I like that show. It was a good show. They dropped a big tease right at the very end of the season for a possible second spin-off series,
Oh.
which may or may not happen to exist. I don't know what the ratings were on this one. Next, I watched maybe the greatest banger of the year for me, if I'm being quite frank.
Oh.
Fall of the House of Usher.
Ooh.
Um,
Ooh.
by my boy Mike Flanagan, who is mayhaps my favorite, besides Wes Anderson, maybe my favorite creative in all of Hollywood. Um, he's done a bunch of other horror series, Midnight Mass, Haunting of Hill House, and sequel series, which I haven't watched, but people said it's not that great. Hush, um, someone's game. I can't remember the name of the. It's somebody's game. That's the name of the movie. But yeah, he deals very much. If you've heard the term elevated horror, where it's much more cerebral, it's much more focused on message than it is on pure scares and like actual horror elements. Um, and anyway, he made this series called Fall of the House of Usher, which is an adaptation of an Edgar Allan Poe story
It is.
about yes, about basically a like billionaire in the show. It's a billionaire pharmaceutical CEO who basically he's almost single-handedly responsible for the opioid epidemic.
Hmm.
Basically, way in the past, he made a deal to basically become incredibly rich and successful at the cost of his children ultimately being killed by this sort of this woman who is basically like the stand-in for death. Like she is basically Lady Death. And yeah, so basically every episode is an adaptation of another Edgar Allan Poe short story, and in each episode another one of his children dies. So each episode is basically them dying to the tune of uh one of his short stories, one of Edgar Allan Poe's short stories. And
Ooh.
god dang is it a banger series. Just the dialogue is just a cut above literally everything else, like that all other horror that's on the market right now. Like goodness gracious, like at one point the CEO, and by the way, this all happens in the context of basically the CEO. It's like a frame story. Basically, after all of the kids have already died, he invites like his lawyer who's been like trying to get like incriminate him for the opioid epidemic like his whole life. Um, basically he's describing how his kids came to die and how their deaths all weren't accidents. Um, and but yeah, no, there's this amazing scene where the CEO, where the lawyer's like, well, when life gives you lemons, and like the CEO goes in this like crazy long like rant about how uh like he would capture like the lemon market, and it's hard to describe, but it's great. It's
Mm.
great, and it's such a good peering into his character and like how he's such a greedy capitalist scumbag. And yeah, it's great. That is maybe one of the best series I've seen this year. Certainly the best series I've watched since the last time we met up. Really, really freaking good. Um, Next, I watched. I've been watching this on and off with my girlfriend. Yellow Jackets.
Hmm.
It's basically Lord of the Flies, but if it was almost all women and it happened in the Canadian wilderness. Um, and also there's
Well, that's
some
the
kind of
scariest part.
supernatural. Yes, it's like there's also some supernatural elements. Like there's a spirit at play that's like that's kind of pulling the strings and keeping them trapped there. Um, yeah, it's really freaking good. It's utterly terrifying. So the show's split into two parts. The first is in the past with the girls trapped in the wilderness, and the second part is in the future with them in having come back to society and basically reintegrated. Like basically, they're all now like middle-aged women and basically living out their lives. There's also a story going on there where like the spirit that haunted them there has not entirely gone away, and really freaking good series. Um, uh, The Bear is the last show I've been watching.
Yeah.
Um, The Bear is really freaking good. Um, Goodness, that's every single episode of The Bear stresses me out.
Yeah.
Uh, for reference, The Bear is about a man who his brother commits suicide, and he left him his restaurant in his will, and he is like a master chef. Like he's really young guy, but like he's basically top of the chef world. Went from like nothing to like the like super big celebrity chef status in like almost no time at all. And basically, he decides to take over his brother's old like hot dog place and basically like bring it up to code, like make it better, like improve it. And it's all about him doing that and like the relationship between him and all the cooks and everybody else in the show. And it's really really good. Um, a lot of the episodes take place inside the kitchen, and it's like this is the most stressful. Like if I was in this environment, I would just melt. It's just like
Mhm.
so high speed, so frenetic. Like the cat, there's just so many cuts between like cut between different things happening in the kitchen. It's insane. Um,
Are you
it's really well
watching?
shot.
Oh, sorry. Have you
No, no,
watched?
no, go ahead.
Have you finished the whole series? Season 1 and 2 thus far?
No, I'm still in the progress of watching season one. I
Gotcha.
think I'm one or two episodes away from finishing.
Oh.
I do know what happens
Hmm.
at the end of the season,
Okay.
and into what happens, what season two is about.
Okay.
But
All
I don't
right.
exactly know the how of that happening. So I am
Gotcha.
excited to watch more.
The second to last episode might be my favorite in season 1, but it is also the most stressful episode.
Oh yeah,
Oh my
imagine.
goodness. Good show. Good show. Yes, chef.
Dang. Yeah. Yes, chef.
So
God, yeah.
I
Stressful,
basically
but
watched The Bear and played Overcooked. So I'm basically a master chef at this point.
yeah, you're pretty much you're
You
pretty
got
much
it. Yeah, it's right
Michelin
there.
5-star rating.
I believe that's how Gordon Ramsay did it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, actually, not a lot of people know that. Yeah, Bear, awesome show, loved his death. On to what I played, gentlemen. Gentlemen, let me tell you about Starfield.
Oh,
Starfield, gentlemen.
Field of Stars.
I
I would describe Starfield as one of the games of all time.
Oh no.
Um, yes, when you're actually in of interest and you're playing the game, it's like, okay, this is pretty good. Like when you're doing the side quests, it's like, okay, I'm digging these side quests. Heck yeah, let's do it, man. And then you get on the main quest, or you branch off and you're like, I'm gonna explore this world a little bit. And you explore the world or worlds plural, and you're like, man, there is just nothing here. Like Bethesda, their whole entire ethos is built around exploration of their worlds. Like every single individual location has a story and something to tell you. But like in here, you go explore and it's just like wilderness or the occasional POI that has no story and just loot, and
Hmm.
you're just kind of like, I don't even know why you'd bother. I when I first started the game, I explored a little bit of one world, and then I saw, oh, this is just like a mountain or whatever, and like I stumbled upon like an old factory or whatever, and like there wasn't really any lore or anything, like because there's no quest there. I have no reason really to even be here to begin with. So yeah. Uh, like I said, side quests, great. Main quest, iffy, really terrible ending, I would say.
Ooh.
Let's just say, I
Oof.
wait. Did I talk about? I may have beaten Starfield the last time we met up.
I don't think
I
so.
remember
End of
talking about the
September?
ending.
Don't think
End,
so.
end of September?
I know I told Zach. Zach, I remember telling. Maybe it was in writing group. I
It
might
might
have
have
done
been
it
in
in
writing
writing
group.
group and not here. Yeah. Anyway, everything outside bad. Anyway, ending sucks because New Game Plus forces you to lose all of your loot, and I hit that. And there's an in-universe justification for New Game Plus, and I'm
Oh.
like, dang, I lost everything. I entered New Game Plus thinking, okay, there are like several star systems I didn't explore. I probably missed a bunch of side quests and everything. I'll cover them in New Game Plus, no biggie. I'll have all my loot, all my gear, everything like that. Then I hit New Game Plus and I'm like, oh, I lost literally everything. Like, I keep my level, that's great. I keep my character, great. Yeah, all my stats and everything, cool. I lost my ship, I lost all of my weapons, my crew, status, progress on all other side quests that I had gone through, and I'm like, okay, I guess I should have wrapped up literally everything else. Um, so yeah,
Hmm.
not to mention, just in general, the main quest is basically go here, grab artifact, come back, artifact in giant artifact pit. Okay, cool. Now go do that again like 20 times, and you're done with the main quest.
Oh, so
Like I
like
was
every
expecting like
JRPG ever.
some, yeah, I was
Ooh.
expecting some
Ooh.
like, okay, okay, okay,
Controversial.
fighting word. Uh, Also, I greatly contend that JRPG. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right.
Excuse you, Persona. Persona would like a word with you, sir.
Okay, okay.
But anyway, main quest boring. Hated it. Didn't like it. Not fun. Um, but I still had a good time with it. Overall, overall, it ranks pretty low on my game of the year rankings.
Oof.
But I still enjoyed it. It may have been my most anticipated game this year, and it ended up being probably ranked among my game of the year contenders the lowest. Um,
If you don't mind me
Still,
asking, uh, how does Starfield, at least to me, the game very much reminded me of like No Man's Sky when seeing it. How would you say this compares, at least at launch or just during its life cycle, to like No Man's Sky?
oh, it's I would say it's a million times better. Well,
Oh, okay.
I mean to start in Starfield, there's actually things to do.
Whereas in like, I mean, there's a main quest to No Man's Sky, sure, but it's like
Mhm.
it's pretty much exactly what the main quest of Starfield is. It's like go to this place, interact with this thing. Oh, cool, you did it. The big problem with No Man's Sky is there aren't really any interesting points of interest. Like, you just like it's just like explore the planet. Oh, you stumble upon this thing that you can like get a new word for this language, or like upgrade your inventory, or mine this resource, and that's it. Whereas in Starfield, there are actually like cities to explore,
Okay.
points of interest, places to go for quest lines.
Mhm.
Um, and I would say in general, even though I was incredibly disappointed by the non-story exploration, it's the flora, fauna, and land generation is 1 trillion times better than No Man's Sky, I would say.
Mm. Okay.
Uh, no Man's Sky definitely does have the plus that you can fly between planets and enter a planet's atmosphere, and like all travel isn't just like fast travel, it is in Starfield. But overall, planet exploration is still much better Starfield than it is in No Man's Sky.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah,
Good to know. Good to know.
and I mean they have pretty similar uh like gameplay loops in general, or like
Mhm.
side content funnels you can do. Like you can build a base like you can in No Man's Sky, or you can mine resources like you can in No Man's Sky. Uh, but overall, I would say the systems in Starfield are much better than they are in No Man's Sky,
Mhm.
considerably so.
Gotcha. Good to
Now to
know.
talk about something completely different
Of
and
course.
utterly unrelated
Of course.
to
Mhm.
Starfield at all. But let me tell you guys about Bug Snacks.
Bug
Uh,
snacks.
Oh yeah.
let me
Yo!
tell you guys about Bug Snack.
Game of the year
Uh,
2020.
so yes, so my girlfriend played Bug Snacks earlier this year, and she was like, I was like, "Hey, Nee, what games would you recommend I play every time?" Like once a week, or I go to Brittany's house, or she comes to my house on Tuesday or Thursday, because she works from home Tuesday, Thursday, and I work from home always. So I'll go there, or she'll come here, and basically, I'm like, "What game would you really like me to play?" And she's like, "Well, earlier this year I played Bug Snacks, and I absolutely loved it. So you should play Bug Snacks." And I said, "All right, I'll play Bug Snacks." And you guys, I gotta admit, I liked Bug Snacks.
Oh.
I liked Bug Snacks a lot, actually.
Mhm.
Just the idea of it literally being like Pokemon, but really weird with some body horror sprinkled in. Like, I don't know why. That just did it for me. Uh, literally, the Bug Snacks saying their names is the best part of the game by far. Because sometimes it's the most adorable thing you've ever heard in your entire life, and other times it's just like some guy who freaking stumbled into the studio, and grabbed a mic out of absolutely nowhere. Nobody knows who this guy is or why he's here, and he just says the name of the freaking the Bug Snack, and it's just the best. It's the best. If you literally just want to hear a guy say "Standipede" over and over again like 50 times, like this is the game for you. Uh but yeah, I enjoyed it. I also like all the characters in there. They're lovable goofballs. Um and I love everything about it. Uh yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
had fun with Bug Snacks. I had a ton of fun with Bug Snacks. The ending hit me like a freight train. I was like, dang, this got much more serious and like horrific than I was expecting. Um, but yeah, overall, I liked Bug Snacks. I never thought I would say that sentence my entire, but by God, I liked Bug Snacks. Um,
Anyway, let me tell you about Baldur's Gate 3. Um,
Yeah.
I know, yeah, Zach talked at length about Baldur's Gate 3. However, I am a little bit farther along than him. I have reached the Moonrise Towers area. Um, and yeah, that area is brutal and unforgiving. But also, once you reach like level 5 or 6, your party just becomes so overwhelmingly powerful that absolutely nothing can even stand in the way of you. You
Yeah,
just
that sounds,
absolutely stomp everything.
sounds like D&D.
Um,
Yep.
yeah. Like I've heard some people say like level because the max level in this game isn't 20, it's 12. I've
Oh,
heard a lot of people say like, yeah, level 12 in this game is basically level 20 in D&D. And based on the fact that I'm like level 8 and annihilating enemies that are like 2 levels above me, I'm like, yeah, I think that that is accurate.
Can't
Um,
wait to get to the end of the
but yeah.
game and have 3 spell slots.
Yeah,
'Cause I'm a
exactly.
warlock.
Yep. I've multi-classed all of my party except for my cleric. Um, my cleric has 17 quintillion spell slots, whereas Gale, who I'm running as my wizard, um, he's my 2 levels into fighter, rest of the levels into wizard, so he can get action surge and cast 2 to 3 fireballs a turn. Um,
Good grief.
yeah,
Gosh.
he's pretty good. Um, but yeah, cleric. I'm just heal botting Shadowheart. She's she's the goat of my party. Really, somebody will just get absolutely obliterated one turn, and then she'll just be like, nah, and just like bonus action mass cure wounds, action channel divinity, heal the entire party, and uh item that gives them like 5 temporary hit points every time they're healed, including herself. And I'm like, yeah, no. Like once you get to a certain level of just like item interactions plus class abilities, just insanity, pure insanity. Um, but yeah, I am not running a custom character for this. I am running. I am playing as Karlak.
ooh,
Um,
Ooh.
yeah. So, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't get the witty uh, banter up from Karlak, which I've heard people say is like the best part of the game. So I am missing out.
Oh, it's great.
Pretty. Yeah. Yeah. I love Karlak as a character though, just from the interactions I've had. Um, my party is Karlak, L, Shadowheart, and what's his name? The rogue.
Starion.
Astarian?
Uh,
Astarian.
Asterion. Yes, Asterion. Sorry, one of my headphones died. Yeah, Asterion. Once you get Asterion to higher level as a, I think assassin, rogue, he's just unstoppable. The amount of damage output he has is just beyond the pale. Um, but yeah, I I really love Baldur's Gate 3. It's a great game. There's just literally so much detail. There's so much detail to that game. It is insane. How on earth they pulled it off, I don't know. Straight up don't. It's
Sane.
crazy. Yeah. Anyway, most recent game I've been playing, Alan Wake 2. Um,
Ooh.
Yeah.
really, really good. Much more horrifying than the original was, that's for certain. If you don't like jump scares or don't deal with them well, stay away because there are quite a lot of jump scares in this game.
Noted.
Yeah, but it's survival horror, whereas the first one was more, yeah, I don't even know, action
Action
adventure.
horror. Yeah.
Um, action horror, yeah. Um, so I mean, I'm played on normal, and you are absolutely flooded with resources on normal, so you don't really have to worry. Like, you'll run out of ammo for your shotgun, and then 5 seconds later, you'll find like 12 shotgun shells sitting on the ground, and so it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this is no biggie. Like at first I was like being very reserved about my shotgun ammo use, and then I just like, oh, you ran out of shotgun ammo? Here's 50 billion more shells. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is good. Um, so yeah, really, 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 really good game. Story is stellar. Gameplay between both stories, because it's split between Alan Wake and an FBI agent named Saga Anderson. She's awesome. She's a great secondary protagonist. Um, all in all, I am really, really, really enjoying the game. I'm about to beat it. I am literally in the end game. I have at most maybe 1 or 2 hours left in the game, and then I'm done. Yeah, overall, really, really positive impressions. Um, Killer game. Next, that is all the video games I played. I did play some tabletop games, however, which I would like to discuss very briefly.
Ooh.
Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I continue to play it with my friends. We are
Yeah.
playing Commander decks, and presently, or last time we played, there was 4 of us. There's going to be a fifth one when we play tomorrow afternoon.
Ooh.
That'll be an interesting interaction. And the fifth guy we got is actually pretty experienced in Magic the Gathering, whereas like pretty much everybody but one other person who just has absolutely swept us every single time is a novice at the game. It'll be interesting to see another pretty good player take the reins. Um, but yeah, overall, I'm really liking Magic the Gathering. Um, Again, zombie deck, uh, love it. I love the zombie deck. Really fun. Next, I played some Blood on the Clock Tower with friends. We actually played yesterday. Um, just to recap, that's the mafia style game where everybody gets their own unique role.
Mhm.
Um, very, very fun. We got 5 freaking games in last night. Um, Literally 2 of them ended because somebody there's a role called a slayer, which if once in the game they get to shoot a crossbow bolt, and if they shoot it at the demon dies instantly and the good team wins. And in both games there was a slayer, and in both games they perfectly picked who the demon was and shot them
Nice.
and killed them in like the second night.
Nice.
um which I would like to say, the second game I was the demon.
Oh no.
Yeah, what happened was I went to the guy who was the Slayer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, can you tell me what role you are?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm the Slayer." And he's like, "Oh cool." And then we all got back into the circle, and he's like, "Yeah, I shoot Aaron." And I'm like, "No." I literally bluff Slayer to the Slayer. It's
Oof.
like, but
Oof.
yeah, I got to quote unquote DM or story tell 2 games at the end, and there's those games went hilariously. The first one went character called the Pit Hag, who can switch characters, who can switch players to other characters if the character they switch to is not in play, and we're playing such that the minion, so there's the minion and the demon. The minion basically helps the demon. They're on the evil team. The demon is the actual person who's doing all the killing. Pit Hag's the minion, and she didn't know who her demon was, so she accidentally picked the demon and swapped them to a good character, and so there's now no longer a demon. So the good team automatically wins, and the evil team automatically loses.
Oh, that's funny.
Um, yeah. So I was so confused. I was utterly perplexed. I was like, I had no clue what to do in that situation. So luckily, the guy who got switched is the guy who hosts it, Tommy, and he's like, yeah, just end it. We're done. Yeah, that was so funny. Um, yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower, really really fun. Had a great time with it. Lastly, D&D with the family plus my friend Burhan. Um, Great time as always. They're in my world. They just cleared up a crystal curse. This land that basically turned people into crystal zombies. Job on them. And now they're about to go and experience a very meta version in which basically they encounter themselves playing D&D, which will be a lot of fun to DM, I think.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm excited. I don't remember where our next game is, but it's fairly soon. Um, but yeah, that's everything I played. On to things I read. I have read exactly one thing in the last month, and that is Oathbringer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oathbringer is awesome.
Yeah.
I just freaking I love all the Dalinar flashbacks. Dalinar is awesome. I love him as a character.
Yep.
He's such a lovable monster. At least if the uh flashbacks are anything to believe.
Yep.
But he's a great guy in the present, and that's where it really counts. Um, but yeah, overall, I love him as a character, and I'm glad we're getting some flashbacks of him. Still some mysteries yet to unravel, and that one character who's kind of like is a scumbag, but was on the good team at one point, and he does the thing, and you're like, yeah, I can see him doing that thing, but you're still a little upset he did that thing, and it's like, okay, yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, Oathbringer is really great. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Oh
Generally
yeah.
speaking,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
I won't
the
say a
trope moment,
word more.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that's all I've been reading. I mean, besides like the occasional manga or online web comic I've stumbled upon. Um, but yeah. As to things I've listened to, underscores, banger, banger band. Um, I don't even know how to classify their music. Ironic rock, I guess I'll call it. Um, yeah, very good. Sufjan Stevens released a new album
Hmm.
after the passing of his untimely passing of his partner. Um, and God, is that album just dripping, utterly dripping with sorrow. And yeah, that's one of the best albums of this year, no question. Um, Last is Reverend Kristen Michael Hayter. Um, Technically a Christian musician in the loosest possible way imaginable. She does music that is much more about Christian theology than it is really worship music. Um, I think her
Hmm.
song "All of My Friends Are Going to Hell," in which she sings about all of her friends going to hell, is a great banger, and I absolutely love it. Um, uh, yeah, she's an exceptional musician. She used to be go under the name Lingua Ignota, and she was doing Christian music then, but it was much more so about her suffering abuse at the hands of her now ex-boyfriend. And her last album for Lingua Ignota got a 10 from Anthony Fantano. And yeah, she earned that 10. My God, she earned that 10. Um, yeah, that may have been my album of the year for 2020 when it released. But yeah, everything I've listened to. That's pretty much everything I've consumed. Last, I want to talk about what I've been writing.
Ooh.
So,
Yeah.
NaNoWriMo started 4 calendar days ago, on November the 1st. My goal for NaNoWriMo was 1666 words per day, because that puts you right about at 50K words for the month. And gentlemen, I'm sorry to report I have not been able to hit that goal. Um, in fact, I have smashed that goal. So
Whoa.
smash that like button.
Yes, he has.
I'm at about 2,100 words per day, 8,500 words total, roughly speaking, or about almost 8,600 words total. Um, yeah. Basically, I'm writing a fantasy story in which it's a magical system based upon the elementary particles of physics in the standard particle model of physics. Um, and I'm having more fun writing this than I have had fun writing anything in the last like 5, 6 years, if not longer. The words are literally just flying, just like coming straight out of my brain onto the page. It's amazing. Um, I have a thrill to write like never before, and yeah, so I'm having a pretty darn good time with uh, NaNoWriMo, I
Hmm.
would say. Um, but yeah, I'm going to have to chop up what I've been writing for my writing group, which Zach is also a part of,
Boy, is
because
it that
if
much?
if I keep up this goal, we said in the last meeting, like, oh, if you do 1,600 words a day, you're gonna do like 11,000 words by the time we meet up next. And then like my current pace is like over 2K words a day. So it's like if that
Oh
continues, it's going
boy.
to be like 15,000 words for the next meeting. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to break it up a little bit. Um, Luckily, that should give me a pretty big buffer for
Yep.
you guys having read stuff.
I have also been doing NaNoWriMo. I'm not
Yes,
nearly as far. I'm behind on my goal, uh, but it's just been a busy couple of days. So I'm hoping
understandable.
at least like next weekend I'll have plenty of time to s- smash past the goal. I also
Well,
did introduce it to my
Thank you.
students and offer them extra credit if they got to 25K. So
Ooh, nice.
and I also
uh,
That's awesome.
I have to get at least a decent amount of words because I also said if you beat my goal or beat my word count, whatever it happens to be, you get a prize. And I haven't decided
Okay.
what that prize is. And I also said, hey,
Okay, I like.
if you reach 50K, you'll also get a prize.
uh,
Nice.
for the uninitiated, what is NaNoWriMo?
National Novel Writing Month.
Oh,
Yes. The goal of National Novel Writing Month is to write 50,000 words of a novel, within the month of November. Um,
huh.
or any goal. You can set any amount of words, but like the standard goal is you write 50,000 words in a month.
Because
Hmm.
50K
And
is novel length.
Hmm.
yes, um, typically you're supposed to start a new novel with it, but this novel
Mhm.
I'm writing right now, this fantasy, which by the way, first fantasy novel I've ever tried writing, and I'm
Ooh.
loving it. Which
Ooh.
is funny because I don't read that much fantasy besides Sanderson, but it just so happens I really like writing fantasy. Um, but yes, I started this novel before NaNoWriMo, and I decided to keep going on NaNoWriMo because I like writing it so much.
And
So
Hmm.
I'm
yeah,
glad you have because I want to keep reading that.
yes, I'm having so much fun writing Trigger. I just wrote a big fight scene, in which the main character and those two other characters use their magic systems in very unique and interesting ways to the individual, and probably my favorite thing I've written out of the story so far. So I'm excited for you guys to read that.
Nice.
Hmm. Pretty
Okay.
cool.
Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Narimo is pretty much the last thing I wanted to discuss. So yeah, I think that is that.
Right on.
Woo!
Another
That's it.
episode 6 in the books.
Woohoo! That's 3.5 hours. Woo!
That's a long one.
That's a
Yeah,
long
Whoa.
one.
darn. I mean, I will say it's been a bit since we last met up. It's been like
Yeah, it's been over a
It
how
month,
long?
so
has.
Very
Over a
true.
month, yeah.
Very
Oh
true.
boy.
Great podcast though.
Great
Congratulations,
podcast.
Rangers. I would just like to
Yes.
close out with how we began. Never
Yes.
forget our roots.
Never forget. Man, we had the
Tough time,
longest
never laugh.
we had the longest streak going of never winning the World Series, and now we threw it all away.
hmm
Man, crazy.
And we're going to the outro. Oh, that's a baseball. Wait, no, wait, we'll go back in.
Ah, I missed it. I
Go
missed
back
it.
in. Oh.
No,
No
we
Joe
can't.
joke.
We can't go back
No
in.
Joe jokes.
We're back out. Will Jagger